Good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome to Conception Art Show's Holiday Edition. We are delighted to have you here and look forward to sharing space, creativity, and holiday cheer with you this evening. My name is Rachel Wilkins. I am the co-founder of Conception Arts, and it is my absolute pleasure to be spending this evening with you. Tonight, we're going to be experiencing the work of 15 talented artists representing painting, photography, mixed media, digital drawing, video, assemblage, and even NFTs. Creators from various backgrounds, each with a unique voice. And we're also going to hear from a few of our artists personally about what inspired the works, what motivates them to create, and what they've learned this year as we continue to navigate this new landscape of experiencing and enjoying art during a global pandemic. Now, at the end of this evening's show, we will be presenting 3 awards. The first, obviously, the big award is our Award for Excellence. That is our Best in Show. And the winner will be taking home our prestigious Award for Excellence plus a $250 artist grant. Next, we're going to be awarding our Rising Star Award, which is a full scholarship to our Art Business Bootcamp program. And finally, we will be awarding our Audience Award, which is where you, our fabulous audience, get to take part and help these incredible artists to move their art business forward in 2022. So I'm going to let you know a little bit of information about how you can do that, how you can vote for these amazing artists in just a second. But just a little bit of information about how the run of show is going to go this evening. So we have 3 separate exhibits. We have 3 different sections, and we also have a virtual gallery as well. So in a few moments in the comment section, you are going to get to see, you're going to get to actually walk around and experience our virtual gallery where you can get up close and personal with the artist's work as though you're walking around. It's the second best thing to actually being there in person. It is a virtual gallery that you can walk around, get up close and personal with each of the artist's work, with one piece of each of the artist's work. Really, really wonderful way of experiencing art in this new age that we are living in right now, folks. Things are changing, things are moving really quickly, and we are ready to rock and roll and move with the time. So why don't we just get right into it? We are going to start looking at some artwork this evening. We're actually going to start things really nice and mellow, just so we can kind of all take a big sigh after this crazy year. Let's all exhale a little bit this evening. Let's start our evening nice and relaxed. And we are going to look at the work of the amazing Dolphin. We love Dolphin. She is fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull up some of Dolphin's stills initially, and then we're going to go right into the videos of her work. So bear with me, folks. Let's pray for those tech gods to be on our side tonight. And we will get looking at Dolphin's fantastic work. So we are going to look at some of the stills, and then I'm going to take you into some nice, calm, relaxing, meditative video artwork by Dolphin. But first, let's learn a little bit about Dolphin. If you don't know Dolphin Brown, Dolphin creates traditional video art. She believes that video art can and should defy conventional television restrictions. Dolphin says she creates video paintings by building unique visual layouts, collaging together moving images and deeply layered visuals, and intermingling these distinct audio streams. They're immersive experiences of sound and visuals that envelops you and invites you to dive below the surface. In the Portals of Peace series, Dolphin invites the viewer to travel through these gateways of celestial image and sound energy to reach peace. Soften your focus or center it in the middle of the gateway. Open your mind and heart. Let yourself travel from polarity to peace. All of her videos are available in digital files as well as multiple screen sizes. So we are going to go right in to one of these incredible, incredible works. And I will see you on the other side, folks. Do enjoy this. Get yourself some quiet. This is a really spectacular experience. Tune out the rest of the world and enjoy Dolphin Brown's artwork. Okay, folks, we are going to revisit that because I'm hearing that we are not having sound. So 1 second, folks, and we are going back in. Wouldn't be a Conception Art Show without a tech hiccup. All right. All right. Is everybody hearing the sound? Hold on. right, folks, welcome back. Is everybody feeling nice and relaxed after that wonderful, wonderful session from the amazing Dolphin Brown? I just do want to share a little bit about how you can own something like that, because I think sometimes when we see video work, we think, well, how does that work? It's not something I can go ahead and hang on my wall in a frame. This is something that Dolphin has created to be kind of an experience. So she provides these LSD or LSD, scrap that, LCD, not LSD, LCD screens. Oh, that's a whole other conversation. LCD screens that you can install in your home, that you could install in your workplace. So you can have this all-encompassing, amazing experience all in your own setting. So if you would like something like that in your home or in your workspace or somewhere where you just need some relaxation, need to get centered, then do reach out to the wonderful, wonderful Dolphin Brown. Her information is in the comments. And she did say, no, I do not have any LSD, though I imagine this work would also really appeal to that community too, Dolphin. So perhaps that's a new niche for you there. Nothing like live streaming, huh? Nothing that we can certainly not edit that out, but let's get moving. We are delighted to be with you here tonight. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to be giving a couple of awards tonight, one of which is our audience award, which is really exciting. That is where you, our viewers, get to vote. So I'm just going to put some information up on the screen here where you can, to tell you how you can vote. So right on the bottom of the screen, you'll see a little ticker that lets you know what you need to do to help the artist get the audience award tonight is just put the artist name and the word vote. Now, no cheating. We will only accept one vote per profile, per avatar, per whatever account you have. As much as we encourage you to support your artist friends, we will only be taking one vote. Now, another way that you can help actually get more votes for that particular artist, if you're here to support somebody in particular, is by hitting the share button right beneath this video, whether you're watching it on YouTube or Facebook or wherever. Spread the word. Let your fans, followers, supporters, whoever you're connected with on social media know that you are here to support a particular artist, and they can help you by sharing this video far and wide. We will be giving the awards tonight around 8 o'clock, all the awards at once, so do stick around and join us then. Now, we have a special treat. We have a wonderful artist joining us now who is going to be introducing her work and telling us a little bit about what she's been up to lately. So a big warm welcome to Lydia Knox.
Hey.
Hello, Canada.
I know, right?
How are you doing this evening, Miss Lydia?
I'm doing okay. We had a power outage before, so I have my fingers crossed, but it looks like I'm coming through, which is good.
Yes, you are coming through loud and clear. I would hope that you could use some of your witch powers to, bring a surge of electricity back, but
exactly. Maybe.
So Lydia is, of course, an award winner. Lydia won our award, I believe, in our first virtual show back in December, either that or early in January.
January, yeah.
Fabulous, amazing artwork. You've been doing some really incredible things this year, which we're going to be looking at some of the artwork that you've produced this year. But why don't you tell us about this series? And I can bring up the slides. But first, just tell us kind of what inspired this series.
So I started the Angels of COVID at the beginning of 2020. I wanted to make 4 large paintings of the 4 angels of the 4 quarters, the archangels. So this is in High Magic and in Kabbalah and stuff like that. And I wanted to humanize the angels because I thought that by humanizing them, I would show that every human holds that higher self or higher sacredness within them. And as I went through, all sorts of social issues popped up when I was doing it. So, one of the angels addresses frontline workers, and the models of the angels were just as important as the angels themselves. So this one that you're looking at right now is the angel Gabriel. and he is like the voice of God or the universe or whatever you think your higher power is. And basically, the model was is in the LGBT community. He's a good friend of mine. He was a dancer, and he struggled with a lot of discrimination because he was gay and really and gender fluid, but he identifies as a he. And so I wanted to make him the voice of God because he's one of the most graceful, beautiful people that I know. And so I turned him into an archangel, and the archangel Gabriel basically gives us a message from our higher power to ourselves. And this is the last angel that I did in the series of four. And my reflection is actually painted into his crystal ball because it was my way of putting my own portrait, self-portrait into this project. But the scarf is something that he made himself. The lilies are sacred to the Archangel Gabriel. And the rainbow, of course, is the inclusiveness rainbow that I put above him to say, like, this is sacred, this is holy, right? You know, and this is beautiful. So yeah, that was a big thing about
It is just incredibly beautiful. And for folks who are looking at this for the first time, I encourage you to go check out Lydia's Instagram so you can actually see the scale of this, because this is a big piece. Tell us what the size is, Lydia.
Yeah, so it's 6 feet high and 3 feet wide.
This is not something that took 5 minutes.
No, they all took me about 3 months each to do, right? And the whole experience, talking to the model, taking the model's pictures because of COVID, I couldn't really have a live model, and you know, and keeping in touch with them as I was progressing was kind of a cool process even for them, because the feedback that they got is because I kind of saw their higher selves and I portrayed it in a painting. So it was a very moving experience for me and the models too. So that was you know, it's transformative.
So before we actually look at any of the other, well, I know we have another angel to look at. Tell us a little bit about what's come about from as a result of you creating this. Tell us the story of where the angels are living, or where they are in the world right now, and how that feels.
Right now they're in my downstairs in my studio, but I had a show just a month ago where they were in the Great Gallery in Owen Sound, and all four of them were displayed, and it was pretty cool. I got a lot of feedback from the people in my community about it, and one of the angels was actually in a mental health facility, so Georgian Waters Mental Health Center, and she was there just to kind of make, you know, help people feel better about themselves and the situation, because it's very stressful. Like the whole COVID situation is very stressful, and you know, this was my way of kind of doing art therapy for myself and for everyone else in order to create something that might, you know, move someone or speak to them.
So let's take a look at the second angel before we look at the final piece. Tell us about this one.
Sure. This is the Archangel Michael. So I first started it as a joint project on Instagram, where in the serpent, which represents our shadow selves, I had other people tell me what they thought evil was. And so I wrote it down, and I wrote it with a Sharpie underneath the serpent. And I was hoping that would bleed through, but ironically it didn't. but the thing is, the words are still there underneath the serpent. And the model is this really cool guy named Brent. He was one of the first police officers of color in Ontario, and he now lives off grid, and his ancestors came to Ontario through the Underground Railroad. So, and I was painting this during the Black Lives Matter movement, and I also the Archangel Michael represents the protection of the universe or God or higher power. And it also talks about ecology and basically the fact that our planet is burning, and the flower that's sacred to the Archangel Michael, which surrounds him, is Angelica, and that's actually an invasive plant. I thought that would be kind of an ironic thing to put in there. And and he stands on smoldered earth. So he's kind of a reminder that we really have to, treat nature with respect.
So now that you've completed the series, and I've been fortunate to kind of follow your journey as you've been working on these four, what is next for you? What do you have in mind for kind of a next big project?
Well, I'm actually thinking of doing a tarot card deck. So that's a big project. That's like 87 paintings. So I finished 10. So,
no pressure.
No pressure, yeah. But that's where I'm going next.
If I know your work ethic, it'll be done quickly. So let's look at this final piece. Not one of the angels. This is actually, this one is the meeting with the Winter King. Tell us about this piece.
So this is, I painted this before I started on the angels, and it's basically my style of art. I like to create, use really bright colors that are rich and stand out. And I really like a fantasy or magical kind of environment here. And this kind of reminds me, this is about the whole idea of facing nature, right? And understanding that nature is so much bigger than us and so overwhelming, especially where I live, because there's a lot of forests and stuff. And nature is sacred. So this woman is holding fire in her hand, and she's gone into the woods during a new moon, and she meets up with the spirit of nature, and the spirit of nature speaks to her. So,
wow, that's a stunning piece. So, just in reflection, as we kind of come to close out this year, tell us, what have you learned about yourself creatively this year? And what have been some of the challenges, and what are you excited about for 22?
Well, I really have been suffering with imposter syndrome a lot. And I started just by painting little tiny paintings. And this is what I did. And I just thought, what would make people happy? Hummingbirds or whatever. And I actually, because of COVID and all the time that I had in my space, I actually had the opportunity to go big, right? And to really get in touch with my creative energy. And moving forward, I have less of an imposter syndrome. I can handle rejection way better. and I think that that offers me a sense of courage. And I'm grateful for that.
Well, we are super grateful to have you in this community, and always appreciate getting to spend time with you and share the creative space with you. So for folks that are watching and enjoying and experiencing your art and looking to perhaps add an original Lydia Knox to their personal collection, how might they do that?
Okay, well, if you go on Instagram, Lydia Knox Art Witch, I have a Linktree account that you can connect through my bio, and that's the best way to find my art. You can connect to my Etsy store, or you can just have a conversation with me. I do have a website, lydiaknoxart.com, but the Linktree account is like the easiest one to find my art in.
And I would like to share, because I just recently commissioned Lydia for something really special. But Lydia is doing some portraits of animals. So perhaps animals that have left. We lost one of our dear little kitties this year who was an old man. He was, what, 16, 17? And 17. And so Lydia is bringing these, our lost pets to life through these portraits. But Lydia, tell us a little bit about the kind of spiritual aspect of that, because you are very connected.
Yeah, well, I'm a medium. I'm a witch. I'm an astrologer, and I have a YouTube show about that, the Lydia Knox astrology. But one of the things I do is, because when I paint pets that have passed on, I kind of collect some photos and I have a conversation, and I kind of get into the vibe of this animal that has been with someone, and I imbue the painting with the spirit of the animal. So that is what I do, and it's like an act of magic. But in that way, if people have lost a pet but they still really want some kind of connection to them, that is something that I do, and people portraits too, like both of those things.
Well, I know somebody who's on this feed right now who's very excited to get their commission. So our Jen is very happy and looking forward to working with you on that. So Lydia, thank you for joining us. What a pleasure. Any final thoughts you want to leave the audience with before we move on?
Life is an adventure. That's my final thought.
That it is. All right, folks, that is Lydia Knox. Make sure you go follow her on Instagram, check out her YouTube channel, and go ahead and purchase some work. Having something beautiful, something meaningful in your home that supports an original artist is really just fantastic. It really is. All right, thank you, Lydia. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right, folks, we are back in the Conception Arts Studio, aka my dining room. Let's get going. Let's move on. We have another wonderful, wonderful artist joining us live from one of my favorite places in the country, actually, from San Diego County. We have the wonderful Kat Farrow joining us. Kat, it's a pleasure to have you. Oh, we don't have audio. Let's see. Hang on. That might be us.
Is that better?
Yep, now we can hear you.
No, that was me.
I think it might have been me. So how are you doing this evening, Kat?
Very good. It's not sunny here. It's raining.
What? In California?
Yes. Yeah, imagine that.
What is happening?
I don't know. The sky is falling.
So, Kat, we're going to look at some new work from you this evening. You've been working on some new pieces lately. Tell us what kind of your inspiration has been over the past couple of months. For those that maybe don't know your backstory, give us a little bit of information.
Well, my backstory is I'm just an old lady that likes to paint. That's the main backstory.
Same.
Right? Old lady that likes to paint. But I like stories. I like people and their backstories, and women, children, they resonate with me, and so I try and bring stories to life on paper and on canvas. And tragically, there's a lot of tragic things that happen to women and children, so I try and hear people, their stories, my own story, and bring it forward in a positive way and give a message of success, that from our layers of travesty or tragedy, however you want to phrase it, you can go forward. And in my case, 16 months? I've had 16 months of recovery for an old lady, right? So I really do a huge shout out to anyone in recovering from anything, whatever that may be that you're recovering from. And that's really given me a voice to put forward a message of hope for young people and for older people like myself, that you can make a difference.
Absolutely. And we had a lengthy discussion on during the last show about recovery, and I think it's just so commendable and just inspiring what you're doing by being vulnerable and talking about your story. I know for me, it took me a while to talk about my own journey with recovery, but when we do that, we're really potentially reaching out to somebody that really needs help. That person who may be thinking, that they're at a point in their lives, or they're struggling, but they don't really necessarily see a face of what somebody who's struggling with addiction or, like you said, any other kind of recovery, what the person looks like or what their experience is. And just by being vulnerable and being visible, you really do give hope to so many people, Kat. So I'm so impressed with what you're doing, and the fact that you're able to do it so succinctly through your work as well is very, very inspiring, and we love what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So why don't we look at some of this work? Let's get some artwork going right here, and then we will talk a little more about some of the amazing things that you're doing. So we are... Go ahead, Kat. You're going to say something?
Can you hear me without my... I'm trying to like manage my voice and my hearing at the same time, and earbuds are driving me nuts.
We can hear you. That's totally great. All right, so let's get your artwork on the screen. Maybe you can give us a little personal tour of this piece. So tell us about this one.
This I put together. So my voice that we always talk about happened 6 years ago on Pearl Harbor Day. So it was the anniversary of my surgery, 2015, and this piece came about in 2016. It was the first. It's an art journal page. It's done in a lot of metallics, but I just really needed a rest and just really felt like, though that my journey had shifted in the level of pain physical pain that I had been enduring had shifted tremendously. My mind really kind of was in a dark space wanting to go to sleep. But this piece ended up being the catalyst to a series, and most of those, all but one, had sold in my series on canvas. This is an art journal page. It's an 8x10, and it has a sister piece that's different in colors, but they're pretty. They're incredible pieces. But this is after the journey. Then the series is Paint Your Soul. And I really believe that as artists, that's what we do, is we put our soul out there for the world to view. And these are transitional pieces. At this time in my life, I would have been happy to go to sleep. I literally had signed over papers for my surgery, so I had to entertain that idea head on what was going to happen with my surgery. And I'm comfortable with death, so even retrospectively, I'm still comfortable with death, but that's what this piece was really about, is me going through that process in my head and where I was. But they're very peaceful.
How does it feel when you look at this piece now? The fact that you are much further forward and so much has transitioned. I know for me, sometimes as an artist, it can be really difficult to look back at work that was either created at a very emotional time or a time of struggle. Do you feel any kind of way when you look at this piece today?
Oh yeah. It's hard for me to keep my composure with this piece, with this whole series. And I'm a crybaby boo-boo probably right now anyway in my life, but a lot of my work. But the Paint Your Soul series is huge. I was coming out of one space and headed into another, and it's a hard place. But I have found I love this work. I mean, the original that I have here, it's mesmerizing. And now I was really facing death and wanting it. Now it's just very symbolic of, I've found peace. They're very peaceful pieces to me now. And those people that had purchased the canvases saw that. I didn't tell them the backstory of what was really going on, and so they just saw the transition in life and doors and that type of thing.
It's really spectacular. So let's look at the next piece that you have here. Totally different energy going on here, Kat. Tell us about this one.
Yes. So back to so that was, I'm ready to lie down and die, and this one I'm ready to let's just go conquer the world. And that little kid in the center stage trying to share the pieces here. It's mixed media, but it's oil pastels on tops, and there's all different shapes and sizes of those women and children that are in there. And she's shouting to the world that you are how you talk to yourself. We are we talk to ourselves like we talk to the canvas. We need to be loving and kind, and that's what this piece is about. Is you can be anything, you can achieve anything. You just really have to believe in yourself.
Are we being loving and kind to ourselves today in the studio?
Sometimes I have to remind myself of my own preaching.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yep.
This is gorgeous. I love this. I love the kind of circular motion and energy that it has here. It reminds me of kind of those like Ringa Rosie things that you used to do as a kid where you would link arms. It's just got this playful energy to it. What about folks in the comments? What are you thinking about these pieces? Do let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
So what's fun is underneath that is an art journal page. So it's a 3x3. It's 36 by 36. And underneath it's just scribbled where I just yelled, screamed, hollered, and jumped up and down on top of the canvas, and then came on top of it with this piece. That's what came out. So that's what's always fun about you never know what's underneath Katie's work or my work.
I love it. All right, so the final piece that we have here from you, Kat, is again another shift in a different direction. Tell us about this particular piece.
So we talk about a shift in direction. I know that that's perceived, but the layers is not a shift in my direction, nor is texture and bold colors and vibrancy. So that's consistent with what I always put forward. And this piece is three-dimensional. Aside from just being the canvas, it's very texturized, and it too is a piece about coming forward. That we bloom out of the darkness is what this is about. And it's about, I think it's a 27 by 36 piece, and acrylic.
Gorgeous. So some of the comments that are coming in here, on that second piece, Heather says, these ladies look very supportive of one another, which absolutely I agree. Then we also have, so we have Ron Smith saying, light, bright, and full of positive energy. Everybody seems so connected.
I really value we had a meeting yesterday. You were kind enough to gift me with the boot camp package in our last show, and I want to tell you that that's the most succinct information that I've ever been provided. It's a cherished gift. And Ron made a comment about purpose yesterday that about took me out as far as back to the crybaby boo-boo yesterday. And I came in last night, and I have another piece that I jammed out, and it's figurative. So his comments and your art boot camp classes helped me to really define where I'm going in 2022. And all of them will be figurative. You won't make the comment next time you see me about the differences in things, I can assure you.
When I say the differences, I just want to be really clear that the differences in terms of the energy that it's bringing. I see Kat Farrow right throughout all three of these pieces, and I'm sure our audience would agree, more so about the energy that each of those is bringing to the table. Just for the record, let's tell everybody what Ron's comment was yesterday. It was pain leads to
purpose.
Yeah.
Purpose. And it is. And I think you mentioned something about that my last share is that artists share their pain. That's what we do.
Yep. And sometimes it's damn beautiful.
It is. I mean, that sounds terrible. We sell our pain. It's like, I don't want someone's pain on my wall. Well, yes, you do.
We'll name it something pretty. Don't worry. You'll
exactly.
Never. No, absolutely. It's just incredible, Kat. And thank you so much for taking the time out to just talk us through some of these pieces and share space with us this evening. We're truly honored. And again, folks, if you are looking to take something beautiful, magical, spiritual, and from the heart, and have that in your home, do so. This is the time to do it. It's the holidays. Treat yourself. Treat somebody you love. Buy something original from one of these fantastic artists. Can't let our folks know how they can do that, how they can get in touch with you.
You can find me either on Facebook at Kat Farrow Studios or my website, katfarrow.com. I am retired from the service, so I always honor veterans. You can always have a veterans discount through there, and that is Thank You Vets. You can enter now and at any other time, actually. But really, katfarrow.com is how you would find me. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm all over the place.
Fantastic. And I believe Jen has dropped all of that in the comments. So, folks, you are good to go. No excuses. Kat, thank you for your service. Thank you for your vulnerability and your beauty and bringing your wonderful work to us. It's an honor to have you join us this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Wow. All right, folks. So that is it for a few moments from our live, wonderful special guests. We are now going to look at one of our artists in the slideshow. Our next artist up is Sandra Mullinax. We are going to pull up her information right here. And we are going to learn a little bit about Sandra as I take you through the artwork right here. Some beautiful work. Okay, so Sandra writes that these works are part of an ongoing series called Portraiture and Landscapes. They're individual snapshots that have been shaped by smelling the smells, tasting the tastes, hearing the sounds, feeling the textures, and seeing the sights that the world has to offer. Found materials are what drive the composition. After a long walk, it is not unheard of for me to have pockets full of items that I have picked up because the texture or color speaks to me. It happens so often that my husband and close friends even point out objects that I may have missed. I remember where and when I pocketed each rusty bolt or piece of chalky mint sea glass, even if it fulfills its new destiny many years later. Some of the pieces are worked on over a long period of time, and others are completed in one sitting. The work develops as I put single parts together, making something new. Then those pieces join others to become the finished piece. As the parts come together, the story becomes clear, with the overarching theme of the series being the joining of foreign and discordant objects to create a unified whole. Handmade pieces are also added to give context, while colors and finishes such as Thai taxi pink and metal leaf, seen so often in temples and places of worship, are reoccurring components in the work. Just mesmerizing work here by Sandra. Really fascinating. Very eclectic. I love the idea of just assemblage and using what the earth gives us, these found materials, to actually put together something of beauty. So if you'd like to learn more about Sandra's work, you can do so by visiting her on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is in the comments, I believe. And also there's an email address if you'd like to commission a piece or if you'd like to reach out about any works that may currently be available, you can do so via one of those links that are provided in the comments. Now, Sandra's actually in Dubai, so she's one of our, I think, our furthest afield exhibitors of the evening. I see some of the comments coming in here. I'm just going to bring a couple of these up. Ron, our very own Ron, says, wow, oh, the stories these obviously tell. So nice. And then we have one from Dolphin here that says, these are so unique. And what else do we have? What do you think, folks? Let us know in the comments how you feel about these very unique and interesting works. Just for some context on these, you can't really tell from the photographs, but they are obviously three-dimensional with these multiple layers. I did get to look at these a little closer up, and they really are fabulous. So again, if you are interested in perhaps taking one of these home and having this in your home or workspace, do drop Sandra a line. Again, if you're interested in perhaps voting Sandra or any of the artists that you've seen thus far, if you're interested in voting for any of these artists for the award, for the audience award tonight, do drop their name and the word win in the comments, and we'll make sure that your vote counts. So yes, I agree. Nivea says, wow, love these. This one is very cool. That's Martine. We have Dr. Lou saying, love the composition. Dolphin. I would love to see these in person. So a lot of great feedback for you, Sandra. Hopefully you are joining us from Dubai. I'm sure the time difference is not very fun right now, but hopefully you are watching and able to see the love that is happening in the comments for this fantastic work. All right, so what do we have next? We are going right now to Marina. So we are going to learn a little bit about Marina's work. All right. So here is the first piece from Marina. Marina Nova is a contemporary abstract artist based in New York City. Having painted since early childhood, Marina uses her visual language to marry the self to the universe. She enjoys working with every facet of the human experience, from birth to death, to the ties between our world and the ethereal realms. So folks, once again, in the comments, let us know what these works are inspiring, what they're bringing up for you, what kind of feedback you have. Let us know in the comments. The more feedback we get, the more love we can give these fabulous artists. Let's take a look at the next work here from Marina. Another beautiful piece. And let's hear a little bit more about Marina. So Marina says she's inspired by the intricately complex nature of our universe and her own life journey. Marina's work can be best described as vibrant, whimsical, and esoteric. Each piece is filled with intricate, dynamic movement and nuanced, multifaceted meaning that is ever-changing. She instills joy and positivity in the viewer through her deliberate use of color and soft, curvaceous movement. Although Marina primarily uses the acrylic on canvas medium, she enjoys experimenting with unconventional media, such as holographic glitter and color-shifting pigments to add depth, dimension, and elements of surprise. While Marina shares with the viewer what inspired each piece and what it means to her, she ultimately leaves it to the viewer to connect with the work and extract their own meaning. So again, folks, this is up to you to really take your own experience of this and let the artist know what you are feeling, what you're experiencing, how you are interpreting these beautiful works. If you are interested in having one of these wonderful works in your home, in your workplace, or perhaps gifting it to a loved one, you can check the comments right now where you can find Marina's Instagram, her TikTok, and I believe a few more little clips of info where you can learn more about her. Reach out to her directly. She's New York based. Perhaps she will give you a deal on shipping if you're in the New York area. Reach out, ask about pricing, folks. Now is the time to do it. Don't buy something from the the high street. Go ahead and be original and buy something original from one of these amazing artists this holiday season. So that is Marina. We are going to take a short break, folks. We are going to take a look now at the virtual gallery where you can see all 15 of our exhibitors tonight. On the other side of that, I'm going to be joined by some of our gentlemen exhibitors this evening. We've heard from a couple of the ladies. Next up, we're going to hear from Sean Duffy. We're also going to hear from Nolan and a couple of other great exhibitors coming your way. On the other side of this video, folks, I will see you in a few moments. All right, welcome back, folks. Rachel Wilkins here, back for part 2 of tonight's Conception Art Show Holiday Edition. First of all, big shout out to everybody who's joining us this evening. Super awesome to have people joining and tuning in from all over the world. Our exhibitors are from all over the world tonight. As I said, we have somebody as far afield as Dubai joining us as one of our exhibitors this evening. So very exciting. Little information about the rest of the show. We are going to be giving some awards away this evening around 8 o'clock. We are going to be giving away of course, our exclusive award for excellence. Ignore that it says 2019. This is just an example. We're going to be giving away this coveted award for excellence tonight to one winner. This is our best in show. And along with this award will be a $250 artist grant. Hopefully they can use that award to create something even more beautiful and fantastic. In addition to the award for excellence, we'll be giving away an audience award tonight. You can see it on the little ticker that has been running throughout this broadcast, letting you know how you can vote for your favorite artist tonight. So do not only vote, but also share this video and encourage your Facebook friends, your YouTube friends to vote as well. Every vote counts, one vote per person. Let's help send another artist home with an award tonight, the Audience Award. And then we're going to be giving one final award. You just heard a little plug from Kat. Every show I give away one subscription, one scholarship to my Art Business Bootcamp program. It is an immersive 6-module course, as well as ongoing support that I provide to a very kind of intimate, unique group of creators. We're going to be giving away one scholarship to a rising star, so somebody who has the potential there to really level up and scale up and just skyrocket into 2022. So we're also going to be giving that away later tonight as well. So do stick around. It's going to be very exciting at 8 o'clock. All right, so is everybody ready to look at some more artwork? Let's get into it. Folks, we are going to do some other fun things at the other side of this. We're going to do a little contest for our viewers. We're going to do a quick little giveaway. So do stick around. But let us know in the comments, first of all, perhaps where you're joining us from. If this is your first time checking out a Conception Art Show, just let us know that you're here. And then we're going to be bringing something exciting for our audience in about 20 minutes time. All right, so let's welcome our next exhibitor. He is a familiar face. He is one of our Conception Arts alumni. Let's welcome Nolan. Nolan. All right, Mr. How are you doing, Nolan?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect. We got some good audio.
Very good.
So happy holidays. We are in December. We are here at the end of 2011. Welcome back. We have some new work from you this evening, which is very exciting. But tell us a little bit about what you've been doing creatively over the last couple of months since we saw you last. Let us know what you've been up to.
I was making a book of my drawings. I'm still kind of trying to fix it up. I had drawings that I thought looked great to me, but then they go through the computer. They end up on paper and then published in a book. I mean, I'm not bragging or anything, but once they're published, I'm kind of like, these aren't quite as good as I remember they looked when I was working on them. So I kind of have to go back to the template and rework a bunch of them. So my book is like not even really halfway done. And I was hoping it would be done sooner, but I have to figure out the technology more.
Well, you're in progress and you're moving forward. That's what matters, right? Progress, not perfection.
Yeah, so, I think, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think for maybe the past few shows, I started gradually using kind of flat bits of color, and that's been useful. And I think the work now is, some of it has a lot more of that than it used to. So that might be something significant that's changed over maybe the past few months.
Well, we're always keeping up with you on social media, so we've noticed the introduction of color. So why don't we just jump right into the work, and you can kind of tell us, just talk us through the development and inspiration. Let's tell us about this piece. We're going to see two similar works in this similar style, but tell us inspiration, motivation medium? Talk us through this, Nolan, from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know what you're talking about. The portraits,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yes.
You
Yeah.
you can't see this on the screen, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it started as my nephew wanting me to teach him how to draw faces, and I don't really think of myself as a teacher, but he was just like, "Well, you can draw good, so can you show me how to do it?" He's about 10, and we were drawing like outlines of faces, but he was like, he actually told me like this isn't a very good drawing, what I did. So I I was working with him to try to make drawings that would please him more than me, like contours of the face. And it's good having a 10-year-old, right? Because they can just be like, this sucks. Like, this is bad, you know? And I just was like, all right, well, I'll work on something, make it better. And eventually he was like, whoa, you really can draw. I was wrong. And that sort of informed this face, which is to me it's not anyone I know. It's just from like an anatomy book of like a profile. But then I just started working on it because I just liked it more as a drawing. But the sort of genesis was like helping my nephew draw a contour of a face because he's obsessed with eyes and faces, and I want to encourage him, you know, if he wants to be into making art. I mean, it'd be great if he grows up and is an artist himself, because as of now, I'm the only artist in our family, and it would be really nice to maybe have another artist. And he's super into drawing, so after I just worked on it more on my own, and I was thinking, well, I haven't really activated the page very much. And I was thinking about what we had talked about with some of my pieces, like, well, maybe have some of that flat color that you use. And I just used it to kind of fill up the space because there was sort of like a horror vacui that I was afraid of too much open space. So I put these real flat planes of color in. And I'm a little worried it looks like a Lichtenstein a bit, but I mean, without any of the dialogue or dots or anything, but I don't know. Maybe it's derivative. I'm not sure, but
It's
I've
funny you
never
said.
really worked like this. Oh yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was just
No,
going to
I'm
say,
done. I'm
when you
done.
talked about like derivative, Liechtenstein was not what came to mind. I actually was thinking about Mondrian with these like color
Oh
blocks.
right. Yes. Yeah.
So you're
Right.
saying these blocking in were not actually kind of intentional. It's not representative of anything in particular. It's something more that came more as out of the
It was
fear
just
of
a reaction. It was like a reaction to just too much space. I thought like it doesn't look interesting enough. Well, what do I put in here? And I didn't really know. And I'm willing to take it as an experiment, but I just wanted it to look interesting to the viewer. I don't know if it succeeded at doing that. But
well, I think so. I see a comment here from Lydia, and I agree. Lydia says it seems to have a story.
I wish it did. Well, I mean, that's
beautiful things about art, though, that, you know, even if we didn't intend it, the way it can be perceived is really incredible.
Well, I think that's like, I always find it like more interesting what somebody brings to a piece that I do rather than what I think it is. Because they might see all of these things that are amazing, and I would be like, oh, it's about how I don't know how to draw, and I help my nephew, and they might be like, oh, that's really like depressing. That's not what I see at all. But I was thinking of some of those early Renaissance portraits where their space is blocked out like this. Like it's like a very like a simple composition of like a guy by a window or something. It's like kind of like from that period where they were learning how to do perspective and they were still struggling a little bit with it, and it's more of like a simple composition. I don't know. That's what I was thinking.
I'm going to give you what I interpret it as, and this is clearly personal. And I would love to hear folks in the comments let us know what it brought to mind for them. But it made me think about how we've spent so much time on Zoom and how exhausting that can be, and how we just want to sometimes switch off from that technology, but also how powerful and amazing of a resource it's been for us to be able to stay connected and go to work and do things like this.
To see things like in squares, like fragmentary, like this sort of,
I almost
like a
see this,
square,
yeah, like in front of a Zoom screen, just kind of taking it in,
squared
absorbing.
off.
Yep. That's
Sorry.
where it took me, but I think that is, like you said, it's just open to interpretation.
Yeah, it's fascinating what people think because it's often more interesting than what I had been thinking myself. I mean, I'm glad that people can connect. I was worried that it was a little bit too vague, that I wasn't sure. I don't know. I usually have more of a narrative, but I guess I was just working on this in process more. Like I'll
So
get the face out.
let's look at this next piece. So this is a total shift. We're going to landscapes away from portraits. Tell us about this piece.
Well, I was thinking about Monument Valley, which I've never been to, but I've been told like you should go there because I used to draw rock formations like for years. And that was like maybe like 12 years ago. That was a long time ago. But I never actually looked at anything from Monument Valley, any sort of photos. So I did one that was more based on a photo, and then I did this one from memory. And I was just trying to think of different ways of portraying rock formations because of this time where I used to draw rocks that always looked like the same shape because I was working from my head, from my imagination. And I don't even know if they were that good. But in this case, I was really specifically trying to look at actual like giant formations. And I had intended to put more color in this one too, but to be honest, I ran out of time. And it's just like I was wondering if it needed more. I don't know. I'm not so versed in color anyway. I mean, I think we had talked maybe 2 shows ago or so about how teachers had been telling me to just work in black and white when I was a student. And I just found that too limiting. And I've been getting kind of restless with just black and white. And that's why I've been trying to use this very flat color because I'm not super confident with using color at all. But to gradually like introduce some color, little amounts here and there, or in the portraits, just a lot all of a sudden. But I don't know. I kind of want to go to these rock formations because they're not real. I mean, they're more just imagined. But it's like a place that I've never been in any place that looked like this.
Mm.
I mean, it's probably a dumb thing to say. I don't know anybody has, but I mean, my original drawing was more based on the photo. This is like a creative diversion from the photo. It's like, like things I remembered from the photo, but maybe not as well as actually looking at it and having it as a reference. And I've always been obsessed with cloud formations, but I'm kind of motor mouthing, so I'll stop.
No, you're not. But I want you to commit to something for me for next year. I want you to come back on this show next year and be much more kind on yourself because you are your worst critic. And I don't want it to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. I want you to just be proud of what you're doing because what you're doing is creative and it's beautiful and it's you and it's yours. And
well, you're probably sensing that I don't have the biggest amount of confidence in my abilities. But isn't that good though? I mean, wouldn't it be worse if I was just like super annoying and like I'm just incredible? Like, isn't it amazing how great I am? Like, who would want to listen to that?
I feel like I feel like there's plenty.
That's way on the other end of the spectrum, I know, but
right. There's plenty of places in between that and those 2 points. Let's just say, and I just well, I want you to know that we love your work. We wouldn't continue to have your work exhibited if we didn't see something beautiful and meaningful in it. And it's a joy and a privilege for me to watch you progress because I've seen you just in the year that you've been exhibiting with us virtually, just seeing how you have, just taken risks and you've put yourself out there. And I just, I see somebody in the comments saying it's painful to hear you put yourself down because you're loved. We love your work. We admire your honesty that that some of this is challenging, but in 2022, we want to see a Nolan that owns this work and is confident with this work and appreciates and loves this work as much as we do. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
Well, I'm sorry it's painful. I'm sorry
No.
it's painful. I was hoping it would be humorous and maybe instead of painful, but maybe it's coming across as painful. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's
But
humorous. We'll take it. Dolphin, it's humorous. All right. So let's see. We love your honesty. Like Jen said in the comments, we admire your honesty, but we want you to just embrace your awesomeness. That's all we're asking. So
I'm
Nolan,
kind of hesitant about it. Yeah.
this
Could I
is a
just say one thing? Could I say
Yeah.
one thing about that? Well,
absolutely.
we all know we know Kurt Vonnegut, right? The writer Kurt Vonnegut, right?
Of course.
I'm assuming we all know him. Well, he apparently had this big motto where he always thought, like, God damn it, I have to be humble. Like, I can never think I'm good. And I don't know if I'm anything like him, but I always thought that was interesting. He was like, I can never think I'm that good at what I'm doing because then I just won't be or something. I don't know if that has anything to do with me, but he was just like, I'm always going to have to think I'm not the greatest. I'm not the greatest. But anyway.
No,
That
I think
is-
humility is everything, and I think you can be humble, but also not be hard on yourself. We're
yeah, I'm
all
pretty self-critical.
we're all growing, and that's I think that's what makes art beautiful. Like we grow together, we grow through our work, and there's absolutely vulnerability every time we put ourselves out there, but that's a beautiful thing.
Well, I mean, I think as a child, I had teachers that weren't always maybe the most encouraging in art, so that might have something. I mean, I'm not trying to do sort of like Freud by numbers, but I have memories of teachers being like, "Well, that's not right. That's not how you draw a sky." Like, what do they know? Well, why is it not right? Oh, it's just things like that. It's just we remember those things. Probably, I remember them.
Yeah. We talk about
Not always the best teachers. Always, not always.
I talked to somebody who's a psychotherapist about why is it that we as human beings are trained or like innately remember that one bad thing that was said to us, but forget the 100 compliments. And she explained that it's to do with the fight or flight, right? It's to do with that needing to know which one's the bad apple in a bunch, right? Needing to know what's going to kill us. There's so many places we could go with that, but I think.
No, but in a way, yeah.
Please go
ahead.
In
a way, sometimes criticisms can be like insights, though. Too, like I had a teacher who said, when you draw a sky, it always looks like a storm in your sky. This is when I was about 9, and I thought, oh, that's a really interesting criticism. She's like, you never draw like a peaceful sky. Like it's always stormy in yours. Or, I don't know what she meant exactly. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with that, but it was wrong apparently at the time. So.
Well, that's a note to all educators. Be careful what you say. This stuff can stay with us for life.
Yeah, whoever you were, why did you say that to me? No, I'm just kidding. I don't even remember her name, whoever it was.
No, I see Dolphin says as well. I think we all had that teacher at some point. But shout out to all the awesome teachers out there. You are amazing. We're not picking on teachers, but yeah, unfortunately, I think quite a lot of us can relate to that, Nolan. So again, thank you for being honest. Oh, I see our Mildred in the comments here. Go Nolan, loving the little splash of color you're introducing into your artwork. Keep it coming. So a lot of great feedback. Let's look at this final piece. We're returning to figurative piece.
Similar to the first one. It's similar to it's born out of the time of the first one of helping this nephew of mine draw faces and having him be like, that's not what I meant. I thought you could draw better. And so now we're talking about teachers and a 10-year-old art critic too. It's from the same idea of just like a more like a symbol of a face. It's not anyone I know, but almost an exercise in trying to figure out composition with more color, which has always been like my biggest struggle is color usage. And it still sort of kind of is. But I do really like these very flat strips of color. It seems to go well with how my line usage goes, in my opinion.
So, you come a long way in the last year. You're experimenting more. Tell us what you're excited about for 2022. What's next for you creatively?
I'm interested more in like building off of color, because it's always been something I've been like afraid to do, and it would be really interesting to see what happens there with that. And I'm sorry, what is my New Year's resolution? To be nicer to myself? Is that what
That's
you were
right.
saying that? Okay, I'll
Yep.
keep that in mind. I'll probably be pretty self-effacing still, but maybe to a lesser extent, where it's less
Maybe-
painful for people to
with,
hear.
with
I
a,
don't,
s- with a laugh, with a smile.
yeah,
All right. Well,
and
look, we look forward to, seeing what you do next. It's always, a pleasure to have you join us in the live feed. We always get, so much more from your work when we get to actually hear from you directly and get to experience a little bit of, the inspiration behind it. So happy holidays to you, Nolan.
could I add one last thing? I'm
Of
sorry,
course you
just
can.
one thing.
Absolutely.
It's something that you were wondering about in my bio about why I had wanted to be an astronaut. I mean, I know it's not related to anything we were talking about, but it does show up in my bio, and I felt like I never really got a chance. Last time you had mentioned we should talk about it, and I forgot to. Do you mind if I delve into that for a second?
Absolutely. Please.
It's just when I was a kid, I thought that space. I didn't understand that space was like unreachable from the ground. Like I thought you could just like walk up when I was little. Like, well, why? I thought you could just walk up into the sky, and I thought like, well, that would be awesome. And I mean, I was like maybe 5 or 6, and that had me like asking my parents maybe about like what do astronauts do, because I'd heard about astronauts and they explained it, and I thought about it later when I was about 10 or 11 or so, and like we would get these coins from my relatives that were like Neil Armstrong set coins, and I was learning more about it. And I guess the joke is when I saw all the math involved in being an astronaut, I was like, that's never going to happen because that's my worst subject. And it was my worst subject in school. But as a child, the only reason I thought about it was I thought that people could just go up into space from the ground. So that started that sidebar. And I'm sorry if that's very random, but it's something I've mentioned, like that I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a child. So that's kind of why an early fascination with space, with the night sky and the stars. So
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Nolan. And
I'm
keep
sorry
coming
that
back.
was totally random. That was totally random, but that will explain now from now on the astronaut fixation, where that came from. So
Amazing. Well, folks, if you want to support Nolan, check out Nolan's website, his social media links. They are in the comments. A lot of love in the comments for you here, Nolan. So make sure you do go and read the comments when we hang up. And
sure.
Happy holidays to you, and stay creative. And we will see you in 2022.
Yeah, happy holidays. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, folks. So that is the wonderful Nolan. We have another fabulous artist joining us. And folks, bear with us. We are running a little bit behind schedule here, so I apologize. We're going to keep things moving, but we have the wonderful Sean Duffy joining us next. So Sean, welcome, welcome, welcome. Great to have you here.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you perfect.
Great. Well, happy holidays. It's lovely to see you.
Likewise.
And, a greeting to all the artists out there. Everyone's work is amazing, and it's been really interesting to listen to everybody talk about what they're doing and all the great feelings that are coming out into beautiful artwork. So, and thanks again to you very, very much, Rachel, for all the work that you're doing for all of us. It really means a lot. So it does say the end is near, so we need to buy some art. Okay,
That's
everybody,
right.
Get it while you can, because
Exactly.
the end is near.
Exactly. And it's very festive where you're joining us from. Looking at your background there looks fantastic. Are you gearing up for the holidays?
We are. We're getting all ready to go, and the tree's quickly piling up with some gifts, and
Nice.
some more artwork is getting produced, and so very much looking forward to a nice Christmas this year. And it should be better than last year, as hopefully the pandemic is hopefully getting a little more manageable.
Absolutely. We have something special with you tonight. You are, I believe, our first artist virtually to exhibit their NFTs. So let's talk about that. Tell us, first of all, what made you transition, or not even transition, add this form of, form of expression into your artist repertoire?
Yeah, it has been exciting, and it is I call it augmentation of my existing artwork. So it's allowed me to take my catalog of art that I already have of 30 years of painting, which is really what I love to do. And I'm really blessed because I have a lot of joy in producing art, and I do it mostly for me. If everyone else enjoys it, then great. We're all along for the same ride. But I like NFTs because of the ability to augment my existing work, but it also just takes us into a whole other dimension, and that's what the metaverse is all about. So I have a few different NFT sites, but I'm really right now primarily using Rarible, and that's where you can go to look at my NFTs and to purchase them, and they're not expensive. I think my cheapest one is like 10 cents.
Sean, I feel like we gotta just for the normies out there, we gotta explain what an NFT is.
Okay, so good point. So an NFT is a non-fungible token, and that's basically it means that it's something that is minted, if you will, like a coin is minted, and that is produced in what's called the blockchain. The blockchain is what is the mechanism, is the guts behind Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. So that creates a whole new dynamic for artists and collecting and owning, retaining, and selling artwork, because there's a permanent, proven ownership of that artwork once it is created in the blockchain as an NFT, as a non-fungible token. And non-fungible just means basically that it can't be broken, but you can think of other things like money is not necessarily a non-fungible token. It's a dollar bill, but it is. So with NFTs, you can make art, or you can make all different things. You can produce music, you can produce artwork. There's many, many different things. It's really just at the beginning stages. So what's gotten really hot, and people have heard of some of the artists that are taking off right now, like Beeple, and some of the other ones like the Ape Yacht Club.
Bored Ape Yacht Club, yeah.
Thank you, Bored Ape Yacht Club. So
I'm still kicking myself about. I made a very expensive decision not to buy a Bored Ape, but that's for another day.
Yes, well, and we've talked about transferring NFTs, and like I'm going to make an announcement. If anybody out there has a wallet and they reach out to me, I will, for free tonight, the first person to reach me, I'm going to give you an NFT. So whoever's out there watching this, what's that?
That's a great offer.
Yes, I'm going to just, if you have a wallet, a crypto wallet, and you send me your key, I can just transfer that to you for free. And I'm going to do it. So whoever hits me up tonight, you're going to get an NFT from me.
And let's just say that is a tremendous gift, because that actually costs you to be able to send that, right? You're going to pay gas on that. So it's not just a case of you giving this for free. You're actually spending money to gift this to somebody. So folks, if anyone watching has a crypto wallet, this is a great offer from Sean. Very creative and really exciting. Like he said, this is something that this is really, really early in the NFT space right now.
It is.
So this could be something that, in a year, 5 years, could be worth a heck of a lot of money.
That's right. And there's
bragging rights.
Right now, Beeple is the third richest artist, a living artist right now. He has produced more than any of the living artists you can name of the top three. So this whole movement is, it's very new, it's dynamic, it's changing, and a lot of people don't understand it, and it's new to artists, and there's many different ways to express yourself with it. So, I recommend all the folks here to, learn about it, try to get into it, see if you can. It's really fun. I mean, Beeple, for 5 years, put a new NFT every day. They're called drops. I've been trying to produce one every day. And I think I've got, a couple dozen of them or so or more. So we guess we'll get to see a couple tonight.
Yeah, let's do it. Why don't we get going and showcase this work? So we are going to look right now. Let me see if I can add this to the stream. And we're going to jump right in.
Yeah, so I mean, everything is in the metaverse now. This virtual world, and it's actually growing. I mean, people are building hotels and coffee shops, and you're using cryptocurrency, and so you're literally living in this. So there'll be virtual art galleries in this digi world, and so these will hang on the walls of these galleries, and people will be able to buy them and trade them. And so what I've done here is, this is a photograph I took during lunar eclipse, the big lunar eclipse that we just had. It was the last. We're not going to have another one for 600 years. And I took the photo of that, and using Visual Paint 3D and some other augmentation tools, I was basically able to use these visual objects and insert them in and try and make them animate. I'm trying what some of the other top NFT artists are doing is they're using object-oriented software to put things in and make these really cool scenes. I'm trying to take my artwork, that catalog of art that I've produced, and turn that into object-oriented software. So people, he has a software program that he picks all these different shapes and spacemen and bulls, and he just drags them into the screen. And well, I'm making my own thing of all the little pieces of every single painting I've ever done. So you know, every face, every feature is going to be something I can just plug into a different piece.
Fantastic. And I just love the possibilities with this as an artist. Yes, it is not, something tangible that you can hold in your hand. And that is still kind of, overwhelming to some people. But
that's changing though, Rachel.
It is totally changing.
So now they have, it's basically a monitor in a glass that has the NFT playing in it. And it looks like the trophy tonight that you actually held up. It looks exactly like that.
Right.
And then inside of it is the NFT.
It's very exciting. It's also a little scary, but one of the things I heard it compared to was, we could never, kind of 20 years ago when we were playing CDs, we couldn't have conceived that to have listen to a piece of music, that we would be able to do that on a digital file, right? That we could just press a button and hear that in our house. Like right. That we don't have to have some tangible product. So, there's going to be a lot of education. There's definitely going to be some education coming from these quarters, but we will talk about that. Sean and I will be having a conversation very soon about some exciting education that is coming this way regarding NFTs. But we'll let you know more about that when it comes. But it is a very exciting time to be an artist. So let's
And I've taken on this whole new persona on Rarible, and so I call myself heavy meta. Instead of heavy metal, it's heavy meta. So if you go on Rarible and you just search for heavy meta, META, you'll pull up my profile. I was able to get verified on Rarible, which is a pretty cool thing to get actually to accomplish. And I've garnered some followers, and I'm just having fun. This is just, I get up every morning and I make one or two of these, and it's really fun. And the response has been great.
Yeah, I see some comment. I think you got your first, I think we might have somebody here who's ready for that free NFT.
Right.
We have Dolphin said, just messaged you, Sean. I love your work. So very exciting.
Likewise, Dolphin.
Dolphin might have beat you to the post, Jen. So,
all right, we'll talk.
Jen's sulking on the couch now. Ron raises a good point. Thanks for sharing this. The NFT space is new and not going away. So this timing is great. Yep, absolutely, Ron.
Absolutely true, Ron.
We were not going to go too deep into what we have coming, but Sean and I are having, like I said, we're going to be providing some very valuable information to anyone who's looking to learn more. So watch this space.
We could be the incubator right here for a huge movement of NFT artists that could be out of this group.
Absolutely. So I think we lost your audio there, Sean.
Oh, can you still hear me?
Yep. Oh, you're back. There you go. Okay.
Yeah. So the day will come when, and of course, Facebook has changed its name to Meta. There's so many interesting things are happening, and traditional artists have you really yet to get into. This is like the guys 2 years ago who were just making all kinds of really cool digital art. never had anywhere to sell it. Nobody was buying and collecting. There was some. So this has opened up a whole new world for artists. And I do highly recommend that everybody, the fellow artists, get into this.
Absolutely. All right. So let's talk about your work. So tell us about this one.
This is Fish Smelling Flowers, which I don't know why, just the irony of that seems really funny to me. And it's part of another painting that I did, which is I think there's another piece. I think the last piece shows this entire painting, which I call the unified field theory. It has to do with Einstein's theory of how everything connects together as one. And, space, time, and gravity are all somehow this mystical force holds us all together. And, I've done pieces about the string that holds us together. And so Fish Smelling Flowers is part of this whole, and you'll see it in the next piece, but I added the jellyfish and, augmented it. I got a little Finding Nemo in there and a shark, and it all just sort of floats and moves in this sort of aquarium-like world. And you can do so much, and there's a temptation to do more than you need to on these things because you don't want to blow out the whole picture. So, learning as I go.
That's fantastic. I see a lot of comments here. Heather asks, unified field theory? Yes.
Yes.
That's a fellow scientist here.
Oh, really? Absolutely, yes. Following Einstein. And it was his unproven theory, but the Higgs boson experiment has led to some of discoveries in proving his last proven theory, so the unified field. And if you go to the next one, I think it's even better description of the unified field. Yes. So this is the unified field. And here's how space, time, and gravity all commence into one NFT.
What a time to be alive.
It will be incredible in the next few years. And crypto, Bitcoin, it is going to continue to rise. It's going to continue to dominate aspects of our economy. And this is a way for artists to get in on that.
So why don't we do this? I'm seeing a lot of love in the comments, especially for your work, but also, curiosity about the NFT space. If you are somebody who is wanting to know more and, would value a conversation with Sean and I, why don't you drop us an email? Jen, can you drop an email in the comments? Drop my email address in there, Rachel W, and we'll put you on a pre-launch list. We'll get you. We'll make sure that you get the information as soon as it's active. We're probably looking at early January before we have anything available. But let's folks, if you're interested and you want to know more and you're excited about this space, drop me an email and we'll get you on a list and we can start having some conversations.
It's really fun, and I think it will bring a whole new level of joy to artists because you get this immediate satisfaction. And the other cool thing is when you sell an NFT, it instantly goes into your wallet.
And
you're not like chasing. Yeah, you're not chasing somebody down. Hey, I hate to ask you for that check, but it's really nice. And then once your NFT sells again, because some people will buy your NFT immediately and they'll hold it, hodl, as we say, HODL, but they'll hold, but others put it immediately on the market and start trying to resell it. And when that does resell, you, the artist, the creator, will get a residual payment on that resale. That doesn't happen with regular artwork. So you can, and the standard is 10%, but you can actually ask up to 50% residual. And that's forever. So your family will get that. If, you think if Picasso's family could still get, or, Rembrandt or those families could still get a piece of every sale.
That is one of the most exciting parts of NFTs for me, the fact that you can get that kickback as many times as that changes hands. I have to say, when I sold 3 NFTs in May, there's nothing better than seeing that email in your inbox. Your NFT is sold. And, another conversation that we're not even touching on is the fact that, as Ethereum, which is essentially where most of the, it's the blockchain where most of the NFTs exist right now. As Ethereum fluctuates, the value of your NFT will also fluctuate as well. So that can
Exactly
be very
right.
exciting.
In Ethereum, the interesting thing about Ethereum is why that's such a brilliant thing is that it's anyone old enough to remember when the internet came out, there used to be just the internet. Well, that's cool, but there wasn't any web browser. There's no way to like surf the web. You had to do all these telenet things and chat boxes. Ethereum is sort of like the browser now. It allows things like NFTs and cryptocurrency to actually operate in the Bitcoin space. So yes, Ethereum will continue to go up as well. And there's a difference between cryptocurrency though and Bitcoin. So
Right.
people confuse those two. But go to my Rarible site and check out Heavy Meta and talk to us if you're interested in learning more about how to do this, because we're more than happy to help you to get into it.
So exciting. Well, if anybody wants to own one of these fabulous NFTs that you see here tonight, you have the link in the comments. So go ahead and click on that link. Also, go check out Sean's social media links, his website links. Give him some love. Of course, if you are loving what Sean is doing, also vote for him. We have an audience award coming up this evening. So drop Sean's name and the word vote in the comments if you are feeling particularly inspired by what you just heard. Sean, it is always a pleasure to spend time with you. Looking forward to diving into the blockchain with you in 2022. Right. And you want to leave us with any final thoughts for our audience?
It's been a pleasure to be here, and I wish everybody a wonderful holidays and a new year coming up. And let's go make some art and let's sell some art. And I wish everybody the best of luck.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Sean.
Thank you, Rachel.
Bye. All right, folks. So we are going to look at another artist's work right now, another Conception Arts alumni. We're going to look at the work of the wonderful Bob Freya. Bob is not joining us in the live stream, so we're going to actually walk through Bob's work. Bob actually won the first award for excellence in our virtual show in 2020, and here is the first work from Bob. A little bit about Bob. He is an award-winning artist from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who paints images from an alternate world. He uses his imagination for you to see the world through his eyes. The bold images he uses The bold images he creates show a darker lining in his mind. And since 2013, Mr. Freya has been showing throughout Pittsburgh and has participated in numerous shows throughout the US. Bob isn't an artist that paints for the people. He paints for himself. He uses art as an escape. So I would love to hear your thoughts on these awesome works by Bob Freya. Bob, not sure if Bob is joining us. Bob has a lot on his hands right now. But Bob, we love your work. We very much enjoy having you join us for these showcases. Let us know, folks, what you're thinking about Bob's work. We just love the whimsical kind of look back at the 1980s, 1990s pop culture, some of these characters. But Bob just has such a unique interpretation and a playfulness, but also with that kind of dark undertone as well, that we really, really enjoy. Yes, we did see Bob in the comments earlier, so we know you were here, Bob. We're sending you a lot of love and a lot of, holiday wishes, hoping that we see you again in 2022. Folks, if you're interested in any of Bob's work, you can find Bob on social media. His links are in the comments. B. Freya Art, and I believe his website is there as well. So again, if you're looking to vote for Bob, drop Bob and the word vote in the comments. And also, again, just, support our artists. One of the best ways, if you are not in the market right now to buy original artwork, one of the most powerful things that you can do to help artists like Bob is to just simply share their work on social media. You never know who is going to see their work. Pay it forward, start a chain of sharing, be, gifting and compassionate and a supportive friend or a supportive follower, and just share this work on social. Spread the love, folks. It's the holiday season. And And again, just, think about shopping a little differently this year. Don't go to the high street. Buy something original. There's some incredible creative people out there, and we have 15 of them here tonight. So that is the wonderful Bob Freya. Next up, we have Naz Kaya. Let's take a look at Naz's work that we have this evening. Another former winner of one of our awards. Naz is inside of our Art Business Bootcamp program. She was a scholarship winner at one of our shows previously this year. Let's take a look at what we have on Naz. So Naz was born in 1974 in Ankara, Turkey. Her studies took her to Bilkent University, where she earned a Master's of Fine Arts degree in Interior Architecture and Environmental Design. She went on to complete her PhD in 2001 at Oklahoma State University, where she received a doctorate in environmental design. After finishing her studies, she accepted an assistant professor position in 2006 at the University of Georgia, where she received tenure as an associate professor specializing in color and design. In 2006, Naz moved to Houston to work with top-tier design and architecture firms and to further enrich her artistic career. So beautiful work here from Naz. And here is the second work. She began exhibiting her art at juried exhibits and enrolled in a painting course at the Glassell School of Art. And later in 2010, Naz moved to Jakarta, Indonesia, where she committed to art and painting full-time. During her stay in Indonesia, she traveled around the Far East of Asia. Her first solo exhibit, called Inspiration Transition, was a great success, and several galleries, including the Maya Gallery, took notice of Naz's exceptional talent. In the same year, Maya Gallery displayed Naz's art in Singapore, where her art was well received. Coming back, Naz now resides in Houston, where she owns and operates Studio Kaya. Continuing her passion for art education, Naz teaches art in the public school setting, along with private lessons for young kids. She enjoys sharing her knowledge while encouraging her students to find their own self-expression. As an abstract and expressionist artist, Naz shares her emotions and thoughts through vibrant colors, distinct shapes, and complex geometry. With every color placement, you can visualize and see emotion through her paintings. A firm believer in karma and finding your inner spirituality, she shares a glimpse inside her life experiences, from the early stages in her life until now. Naz describes herself as having a visual library in her mind, which she applies to the canvas. Her use of bold colors, which sometimes contrast and sometimes are in perfect harmony, evokes strong emotion and nostalgia in the viewer. The placement and design of the geometry in the paintings also offer a sense of balance and direction to the emotional ride. Her art invites the viewer to experience emotions and tastes of color long forgotten and remembered once again. And in her most recent work, Naz explores her journey of self-discovery and redefining her own path. She explores emotions from early childhood to now as a single mother. You'll find symbolism in her work representing emotional healing and new beginnings. So beautiful stuff here from Naz. Again, if you are interested in taking any of these works home or exhibiting them or showcasing them in your place of work, do reach out to these artists directly. You will find contact information for Naz in the comments. And don't be afraid to reach out directly and start a conversation with one of these fabulous, fabulous artists. All right, folks. So we are moving on. And I don't think my next guest is here, but he's in the comments. So we're going to go to the second to next guest. But I'm going to say, Ron Smith, get yourself in the studio ASAP, because you're wanted on stage. So we are going to go to the wonderful Annette Back. So get ready, Annette. Where are you? Let me find you. Here you are. Hello, friend.
Hello there.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Nice to see you again.
It's been so long, Annette. It's been a whole 24 hours since I saw you.
I think so.
So tell us, Annette, you've been doing a lot of things, first of all, this year. You've had a year of travel. Tell us a little bit about where you've been this year.
I got to go to Israel this year because my dad lives over there. It was spend a month there because I hadn't seen my siblings and their new kids and my dad for 3 or 4 years, and so that was really nice.
Did you find
Oh.
that you felt like any creativity, any inspiration during those travels?
Well, I took with me like small paints and pads, but we were living right next to the beach, not to make you people jealous, but one afternoon I painted, and even though I had all these intentions, going to the beach and being with family and friends just took over for that month. But the colors and beach are always inspiring at the beach.
And sometimes it's just, I think travel, it's not necessarily about creating while you're there, but it's like those ideas that you're taking in, right? Those experiences, that
Yes.
culture.
And it was very nice to be there and see my dad. It was also stressful because all the COVID stuff that's still going on. But we got there and we came back. So yay.
Yay, fantastic. So we're going to pull up your artwork. We're going to take a look at what you've been doing in the last couple of months, which is very exciting. So let's see. Here we go. All right. So first of all, tell us about this piece because it's probably recognizable, the figures to a couple of folks out there. Talk us through this piece.
So this piece was inspired by a very famous photograph called The Migrant Mother. Gosh, I forgot her name now. I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry.
I just have been in the last 2 years fascinated by poses without facial expressions, and that you can actually tell feelings through the way the person holds their body, and you don't even have to show a face. And that's what I was doing here. I show her, and I think her despair comes through anyway. I mean, despite or because just the way she's keeping her body. Also, a lot of the time I will show my work in gray tones with bold colors in the clothing and the background to make it pop and just very strong, modernizing the feel of what I'm showing.
What is it about the blank faces that draws you? Why not have featured faces? What is it about that?
It's universal. It makes it universal. You don't know. You're not gonna. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to move the computer. Batteries out. You're not focusing on her skin tone or where she's from or the ethnicity, but it's just the pose, really.
Yep. And what about the choice of colors? You're not using the traditional kind of flesh colors. You've opted for these, more
Great.
cooler tones.
Same idea. It's like I don't want the viewer to be caught looking for, is this a European person? Is this an Asian person? It's just, in this case, a woman with her kids.
Mm-hmm. So let's look at the second one again with the poses. So I particularly love your choice of color here, but talk us through this.
I call this one At the Party, and I feel like this person is sort of just hanging out after, thinking about what occurred, and you don't actually know where she's at, and then she's just thinking after whatever happened. It's up to you to think what happened to her.
What about folks in the comments? What are your thoughts? What are you interpreting this as? I would love to hear. I think she's thinking, where the heck's my cell phone? Then why does this dress not have any pockets?
That's true.
There's so many places you can go, but it's just very elegant, and I love this new direction from you, Annette. I love the choice of colors, the mood that they're open to interpretation. I think they're really beautiful and would make a beautiful addition to anybody's home or workspace. For those who are interested in buying from you, Annette, tell us how they can do that.
You can find me on Instagram at Annette Beck Fine Art, also on Facebook, same. I have a group, and I have a website called www.annettebeckfineart.com.
Heather says, a quiet moment away from the party.
That's good, yes,
Yep.
definitely. Maybe I should call it after the party.
Long as
At the party.
So long as it's not like her own wedding or something, and she's in despair.
Yeah,
I see. Kat says, I can see a hint of a smile.
There is a hint of a mouth, but it's super faint.
Yep, I see that. Beautiful. Yeah, folks, let us know. It's always interesting to hear each person's interpretation. So let's look at this final piece from you, Annette. Gorgeous colors here. Lovely color blocking. Another figure. Talk us through this particular pose.
Well, what does it say to you? To me, like, she's in charge. She's the boss. That's what this pose says to me. I just really love the way she's sitting there, so somewhat arrogant and relaxed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Commanding of the room.
Yeah.
Powerful woman, intimidating.
Don't mess with her.
So, yeah, this is boss lady. Yep.
Yep.
Boss lady with good fashion sense.
Right,
Anybody
like
else?
I never know. I start these sketches and I never know where the color is going to take me. That it's super intuitive, and I just start blocking and red always is like the color of power. So somehow that dress came about.
Tell us a little bit about the process. How does it begin from like the conception of the idea to actually completing a piece like this? How do you approach it?
I will have sort of inspiration that I decide on what size canvas it goes. Then I crop it to the way I want it. And then I make a grid and I put it on the canvas. And then very roughly with pencil, I will draw in the figure. And then super rough again, I will go in with black, or actually Payne's gray. That's the key. Not black, Payne's gray, palette knife or whatever, not a brush, and super rough, just go and do all the outlines. And once I have that done, then I'll go in with palette knife or whatever I have handy to create all the marks. They're very rough and they're very quick.
Well, they're beautiful. And Annette, we are thrilled that you were able to pop in and join us tonight. And
thanks for having me.
Of course, always a pleasure having you. And again, folks, if you're interested in purchasing any of Annette's work, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be shy. Get in touch with the Artist Direct. All her links are, of course, in the comments section. We are going to take a quick break, folks, but we will be back on the other side. Bye for now, Annette. Happy holidays. And we will see you in a few moments, folks. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. All right, audience. This includes people watching, artists, exhibitors, all of you. We are going to give away one Conception Arts mystery goodie bag, which is going to contain some Conception Arts swag and some other fun things. The question is, and it's going to be whoever can get the closest to this number. All right. So in 2016, we had an art fair during Art Basel in Miami. This was our highest grossing exhibit in terms of what the artists actually sold. If you know anything about Conception art shows, we don't get involved in the sales. We don't take any commission from our artists. So this was the total sales made at this particular exhibit. It was Conception Art Fair during Miami Art Basel. It's a very big, big week for anybody who doesn't know in the art world. What were the total sales throughout that fair for the entirety of that exhibit? The person who has the number closest, and we want it in US dollars. It was a 4-day show. We had probably a couple of thousand people through the doors over 4 days. I want to say we had 20 exhibitors, maybe 25. What were the total revenue? How much was made total? Drop it in the comments, folks. And we, at the end of the show, will pick the person who has the number that is closest to that number, and they will be the winner of the Conception Arts mystery goodie bag. All right, shall we talk art? Let's talk art with another one of my favorite artists, Mr. Ron Smith. Welcome, Mr. Ron Smith.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, good. Okay, I was making sure because sometimes I don't get this technology stuff real well. So
you're here and you're looking very dapper this evening, sir.
I have on my paint clothes, paint bottoms, and I just put it because I normally have just a paint shirt on. So I said,
I know you suited up. I love it. Way to show up for the holiday. I even put on a glittery top myself.
I noticed.
I said, it's the only time, hopefully, in my life that I do full hair and makeup to come and sit at my dining room table. So,
where's Jen? Hey, Jen.
Hey, Jen. Hey. So, Ron, we want to know just give us your thoughts on 2020, 21. Give us some reflections in terms of what kind of experience it's been for you as a creative.
It's been a little puzzling because 2020 was my busiest year artistically. I sold more art that year than I did ever. And in 2021, to date, it's been about half of that. So I'm a little bit puzzled by that. I think people were a little stir crazy in 2020, just wanted to buy stuff. So, but I'm thankful for that year, but I'm also thankful for a year, what I call a little bit more painful, that I'm having to create more ways and think of new ways to actually move and sell art and stay connected to the arts community. That's my collectors as well as my friends and my family who've always been supportive of me. So I'm thankful for both of them, actually.
We talked earlier with a member of our business bootcamp group, and she talked about being inspired by what you shared yesterday about pain leading to purpose. Do you want to tell us a little more about that?
I think sometimes we rest in one idea so much that we forget as good as one is and as bad as we think another one is, they're actually rooted in purpose. As you know, some of the audience might know, because of my accident, I broke both of my wrists. I didn't paint for 29 years. But if I had not broken my wrist, that pain that I actually went through may have never brought me to this point of purpose. So to me, they had an enormous effect on who I am and what I'm doing today, artistically and actually just the human experience. I think I'm a better person because of that, because now I think I have more of a heart of service, and I want to serve people not just physically, monetarily, but I want to serve people from a standpoint that I encourage and include them in anything that I learn, anything that I find out that can be beneficial, not just to me, but to the masses.
Amazing. Let's look at some artwork, Ron. Let's see what you've been up to. Let's get...
Well, you know me, I'm always all over the place, so... People are like, oh, you doing what? Okay.
Ron is like, I think, one of the only artists that I would encourage and not, should I say, not discourage from two styles of artwork. There's very few people that could pull that off. You're going to get a look at both styles tonight. So, Ron, talk to us about this piece, and for anybody who doesn't know your background and kind of the inspiration behind these rural pieces, give us some context here.
Just briefly on the rural perspective, when I'm doing that, it's really coming from a place of nostalgia. I grew up in a small town in North Louisiana called Belcher, with about 250 people. Most of them were my relatives. So the house I actually grew up in, probably was smaller than the house that you see there. The shotgun houses in rural America, some are still standing. So I want to make sure that I want to keep those alive and well without actually always showing them in their dead spots, because some of them are covered and no longer lived in. But I like to bring the green to it to make sure that people recognize that there was once life and their family was there, and children were raised, and lives were built around that whole cultural experience. So for me, the rural art represents who I am innately, from a perspective of just, that's how I grew up, that's the culture, and that's what I'm rooted in.
One of the really powerful things that you did over the summer, and that I expect and hope we're going to see more of, is that you actually brought these to life as NFTs. Not just in terms of the imagery, but you told some of the stories behind, like what existed behind these closed doors. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sometimes there were great trials and great victories, but I think they work both hand in hand. I'm one of 8 children, and because of that, sometimes the food and whatever we needed to have to exist, it wasn't always there. So we looked to other things and other ways to entertain and to just enjoy each other's company. So I think the simple life that I had in actually living in places like this actually brought me to a point of this purpose, and that's to make sure that people recognize what strong families came from there. Being one of 8, my mom being one of 12, I was around people all my life, a bunch of people. I have an uncle who's my best friend, who's actually the same age as I am, and I have 2 aunts that are 2 years and 4 years younger than me. So it's those life experiences that really make me who I am, and hopefully evolving me into who I'm supposed to be down the road, because I'm not there yet.
I love this comment here from Jan. Jan says, Ron, your art is such a vital strand of the American fabric.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks. I hadn't heard that one. That's good. That's a good one. I have to hold on to that one. Thanks, Jen.
2 of my favorite people, Jan Phillips and Ron Smith. This is a special night. So let's take one.
It's ironic that Jen bring up fabric, because when you go to the other piece, it'll that's a story in itself about fabric. So, but anyway, that's the rural life that I grew up in, and now I'm doing some smaller rural pieces, which is what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. Some 8x8, and those 3, actually 2 of them are sold already. So thankful for that. One of my collectors who's probably listening, Henry Price, and another art gallery directors, actually, she saw that. I had a meeting with her the other day, and she saw it and she wanted one of my smaller pieces. Because I think as artists, we need to make sure we give people price points to actually introduce them to collecting art. And sometimes they may have $200, but they may not have $2,000. So I invite the audience and artists alike in every genre to make sure that we give people an entry level to actually start to support what we do.
Absolutely. So let's look at this next piece. Tell us about this home.
Just very often, now some of the homes I see, I find out I do my own take on them, and some of them are actually pictures that people send to me. Why don't you paint this? But when I find one that feels good, that feels right to do, as you see, the house is very old and dilapidated. But what I do is I try to pull the green into it. That's the life I want people to realize, that on the way to that house is life, and inside that house still represents something about life. So those pieces are just rooted into to who I am in my experience of growing up in that small town. But that's why I do the greens. That's why I do the shadows. And sometimes I'll delve off into the more, I'll say a dead tree of some sort. But most of the time you see my shotgun houses, they will have something that really represents something about life.
Just beautiful. There's so many of these amazing rural images by Ron. So if you haven't checked out Ron's website or not following him on social media, make sure that you do that. Now, again, you know, when I introduced Ron, I explained that he is the only artist, certainly in any of my coaching programs, that I would say, yep, have two totally different styles of work. And you're going to see why. So here is Ron's abstract work. Absolute shift from where we were. But, you know, Ron, just in this conversation, I think we discovered what connects your work, and that is fabric, right?
Yeah,
that word is so perfect.
Yeah, the fabric of our lives. You know, this piece is actually, I wish we had close-up shots of it, but because it's 24 by 48, but it represents a time actually during COVID that I was struggling with people and these really divisive tactics that we had in dealing with COVID. And this one is called Cause and Effect. So to me, I saw much discouragement and hate-filled speech and posting things that I wanted to show the cause and effect of that. For everything we do, there's something that won't be done. For every left, there's a right. For every wrong, there's a right. Every up, there's a down, and that's kind of how I live. So I live somewhere in the middle to make sure that I don't, negate somebody else's thought process. Mm-hmm. But I want people to learn to listen. And to me, cause and effect was my way of saying, look, there's a black, there's a white. But if you saw it up close, you'll see some real highlights of some real metallic ink that to me brought the life to it. So as much as you see the depth, there's so much other stuff going on in this piece. And to really appreciate it, I invite people to, just kind of go to the website or my Instagram page and kind of see the close-ups of that piece, because this piece was very rooted in purpose, very much so.
Tell us about the use of fabric in the works.
This fabric, Jen mentioned earlier, I'm using burlap. And in retrospect, it connects back to the rural houses you just saw. That life saw me with relatives, mainly my grandmother, who picked cotton. And because she picked cotton and they used a burlap sack to actually put the cotton in, I used burlap in memory of her. The struggles of having to pick cotton and to raise money and to raise children and get food on the table. So she was as much a part of that as my grandfather, my mom, my dad, and all of my relatives. Even to this day, there's still sharecropping going on where I grew up. So to me, to bring this fabric into my abstract is what combines both of those entities, the abstract and the rural. So to me, I make what's old, I make it new. I make it new. And this is really paying homage to my grandmother, Blanche Baker.
She sounds like an exceptional woman.
Yeah, she was. She raised 12 kids. My mom was the one of 9 girls and the 3 boys. And my uncle, who I mentioned, that was her baby brother. That's her baby brother, who lives like 30 yards from me right now. So
it's just, there's so much beauty in your work and just so much depth. And your willingness to just delve into these often difficult, vulnerable experiences and stories related to your ancestors is so compelling.
I think because of that, what I've learned, and especially in taking your class, is that the story is so much a part of why people want to buy art or just want to be a part of you. And if it's the art, fine. If not, the story is enough. And what I found out is sometimes the story will either make or break a sale. It's not always what I aim to do. I'm just telling a story. So I encourage the artists to make sure that when they have a piece or they come up with things that explain who they are, that they stick to that story and make sure it's authentic and it's really who they are. So to me, when I'm talking about these things, I mean, I've had people to cry when I tell them about my grandmother's fingers being, bloody from cotton bolls, but all she would do was just keep going. And I didn't say this, but early on, I don't know if this was a dream, I think it's real, but at the age of 3, I think, she would pull me on a cotton sack. And she would pull me long enough that when I got too heavy, or when the cotton got too heavy, I could walk along beside her. So those are the stories I want people to realize, even at my age, that's not that long ago. Mm-hmm. That's not so far removed that I can't tell that story. So because of that, I think the story is so important. And I didn't realize how important that was until some friends of mine start encouraging me to tell a story. Carolyn Bowe, mainly, who's an artist locally, she's a folk artist here. She was the first person to tell me to say, you need to tell your story. And I'm like, nobody wants to know. But I found that in the midst of transparency, the truth in your transparency sometimes bring trials, but the truth will make sure that the truth is out. And if people buy into it, fine. If they don't, the story is out. And as much as that may hurt sometimes, it's so important that you tell it. It's really important.
Well, Ron, I love you. The world loves you. The comments section loves you. I think we have the Ron Smith fan club in the house. Let's pull up a couple of these messages. We have Dr. Gant. Thank you for joining us. Ron's message is so inspiring, such rich history.
Thank you. That's Opera. Yeah.
We also have Henry Price. I'm listening. Henry Price, collector.
Yeah, Price was, Henry is not just a collector. He's my teacher, my mentor, a friend, was a roommate for a minute when I was going back and forth from Dallas. And I still talk to him 3 to 5 days a week. He and I are close. We talked today. He called to check on me. If it were not for Henry, I'm not sure I'd be painting today, because he heard me say I want to paint again based on my son. My son who lived with me, I said, Henry, I want to paint again. He called me the next day and said, hey, my nickname Punchy, some of you may know that. Hey, Punch, stop by the house. He had paint, brushes, and canvas and said, you have no excuse. And I have not stopped painting since. So kudos to Henry.
Shout out to Henry.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a Henry.
Yeah.
Henry, thank you for encouraging Ron. And Ron, thank you for continuing to just tell your story, move the needle, start conversations, and just bring beautiful artwork to us and to our viewers. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, folks, that is the wonderful Ron Smith. Ron, tell people how they can buy your work. Most importantly, plug time.
RonSmithArtworks.com, or you can go to my IG page. You can always back channel me, or just send me a message. My number is actually on my website too, so you can always call if you just want to reach out to me and find out what certain pieces are. I actually updated my website in the last couple of days, so I updated with the prices. So now the prices are actually on the site. And if there's something that's not priced, just give me a call. I'll be happy to help. Okay.
Get in touch, folks. You heard it here. Ron Smith has original work and prints available for purchase. Go holiday shopping, folks. Support artists. This is vital. Give the gift of creativity this holiday season. Ron, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me on the live feed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Take care.
Folks, if you are wondering why there are dollar figures in the comment section, we have a contest running. We are going to give a Conception Arts goodie bag, surprise goodie bag, to one person. Whoever can get closest to the number of sales made by our artists, the total number of sales made at our Art Basel 2016 exhibit. We have a couple of people who are really close. The closest person is within 40,000. So keep the guesses coming. We are, I guess it's one guess per person, Jen, right? Or are we allowing more than one?
Yeah.
Keep them coming. We'll allow more than one guess. And we will in about 15 minutes, we're going to pick the winner and we're going to give the awards as well. But my next guest, I believe I have the artist Nivea joining me. Let's see if she is on the live feed. Let's check. Nivea, are you with us? Let's have a look and see. Yes, she's here. She's in the house, live from, I think, Miami, right?
Yes, is this working?
It is. We can hear you. Awesome.
Okay. Hi.
I'm so glad that you agreed to come and join me tonight. I know you were a little nervous, but first of all,
Yes.
you and I hanging out on a Zoom session. Nobody's watching. We're just chilling. We're hanging out. We're talking art. That's it. All right.
All right, let's do this.
So tell us, you just spent a couple of days at Art Basel. What was that experience like?
Amazing, different. I learned a lot about myself, about other artists, the art community itself. I felt very blessed to be involved, and it was exciting. To be honest, it was really exciting.
That's awesome. Did you notice a difference? Like, this is really the first one after COVID. Did you feel like it was a different experience to previously, or is
Yeah, 100%. A lot more people, a lot more cautious. People are staying away from people, because of, everything with COVID. But for the most part, a lot more people were more involved with the community itself. A lot more artists were more involved. It was actually pretty amazing to see so many people coming together, but just making you feel okay. I think a lot of people were going through a lot with quarantine and the pandemic. I think a lot of people found a lot of out about themselves and everything that was going on within their lives. I think it really affected us as a whole.
I think you're absolutely right. I think we missed that interaction. We missed that
Yeah. I think it was very awkward too. A lot of people didn't know how to really act with anybody. Wasn't sure if we should shake hands or elbow bumps. It was, say hello from afar. So
a whole new experience.
Yes, it was.
So let's look at some of your fabulous artwork. I'm going to pull it up on the screen right now. Talk us through this gorgeous piece. Tell us a little bit about your inspiration here. What came to mind? What
well, a lot of my inspiration comes from myself, the things that I have gone through as a woman. I went through a lot as a child. I grew up in foster care, and there's a lot that we don't really speak about in society, especially with childhood trauma, and that taboo don't speak about things that happen within the family. It's really sad to see that the world still is so uncomfortable with being okay with being broken and speaking about this broken and actually living in it, facing it, kind of nodding your head and saying, yeah, we're all a little messed up, but I still love exactly my messed up and exactly who I am. We can't change our stories, but we can evolve with them, so to speak. So my art definitely speaks through everything that I go through and have gone through in my life.
Wow. That is incredibly powerful. Thank you for sharing that and being so open about it.
Of course, my heart is coming out of my chest.
Right.
It's very revealing. It's been a big process for me myself as a female and as a being an adult, becoming a woman, becoming an adult, and still figuring out and finding out who you are every day is a learning process. I learn more and more about myself, or more and more things that make me twitch now, and more than I'd have ever known. And I'm 40 years old. I'm learning more about myself every day, and it's beautiful, but very scary and very revealing and crazy and uncontrollable. It's beautiful, but scary. Yes.
Wow. I had no idea about your backstory. Looking at the work now with that, knowing that, having that information, it takes on an even more vulnerable layer to it. It brings something even more depth to it. Tell us a little bit about your decision to kind of almost black out the rest of the body as opposed to the facial feature. Can you talk us through that?
It's the feeling of loss, drawn out, almost gone within yourself, like feeling just let down repeatedly, and kind of just having it morph through your body. That's how I felt. I felt like everything was pulling you down and pulling me down. I felt like I was up to my chin in my neck, so to speak, and trying to stay afloat. Just saying, basically, it's going to be okay, but knowing all this darkness around you and just staying within you, true to yourself.
Wow. when did you, or what should I say, what brought you to artwork? When did you know you were able to express yourself in this way?
I've always been extremely expressive with everything I've ever done. But I really came into myself about 6 years ago, and really my art really morphed itself about 3 years ago, let's say. I had some very disturbing things take place in my life, some losses and some gains. And it really made me change as a person. It's completely morphed me in so many different ways. I can't even begin to explain. I've become more in tune with myself as a woman, as a being. Also okay with expressing myself and expressing and letting other people feel okay with being expressive, male and female. We should feel empowered with expressing all the pain that we have endured. There's nothing wrong with the things that we have gone through. It makes us human beings.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about this piece that we have up here right now?
I call this one my emergence. This was my powerful piece, my splitting between two and almost taking away the deadness within me, hence the skull showing, because there's so much that we carry on our shoulders, that pain. Let it go, split it, whatever you have to do. And that's what I did. And the elegance of being a woman is why she has that pinup look. I love the pinup look and the elegance of just being a female, being able to express oneself through your hair, through your makeup.
Absolutely beautiful. And I agree with Lydia. Lydia in the comments says the art is very intense and powerful.
Yes, as you can see in her eyes, I really do want everyone to feel what I am feeling through the eyes itself. Eyes and hands are extremely expressive. Without saying anything or much, you can feel everything the artist is feeling.
We have a comment here from our very own Mildred. She says, love your energy, positive vibe, and honesty. You and your work carry such a powerful message. I absolutely second that.
Thank you. That's what it's about.
So this final piece, tell us about this piece.
This one is I call the albino. It's it was right when everything started to close down, and I felt very lonely, that solitude. I was by myself all the time, really trying to find myself. I got very quiet, very hermity. I stopped talking to people, got very depressed, got very inside. So I think that's when I began to emerge from me and really nod my head instead of turning away from the things that bothered me or hurt me still, like childhood traumas, and really face those traumas and really begin to be okay with me as a being. So the white light, so to speak, is me emerging, my white light, my own strength, Nivea's being coming out and still being sad and shy, but knowing it's going to be okay. This was my first one to this collection that I did with these girls.
Just beautiful. And I am so impressed with you. I'm so impressed
Thank
with
you.
how you can talk about your work, how you carry yourself. You had nothing to be nervous about. I think our whole crew here are like, why was she nervous? She's fantastic. So please do come back and share with us. What a gift to hear your story, Nivea, and keep doing what you're doing. It's fabulous. I hope you'll stick around with us in the green room for a few minutes.
Absolutely.
We truly appreciate it, and let folks know how they can.
Thank you, Rachel.
Of course, but let people know how they can buy this amazing work.
You can contact me at wildhippie1111.com. That's my website. Or on my Instagram, Nivea Art by Wild Hippie, or my Facebook, Nivea Wild Hippie.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we will see you very soon. Thanks, Nivea. All right, folks, we have just a few more artists to go. We have our next live, I think our final live artist actually joining us this evening. He is also a previous winner. He won our award for excellence in our last show. That is Mr., or should I say Dr. Lou Calvano. Hello, Lou. How you doing? Oh, no, we don't have any volume. Hang on. Check your volume. Let's try it again. Oh, hang on. Try it now. Nope. Huh. Can anybody else hear Lou? No. No. Lou, why don't you try going, exiting and then coming back in? All right. And I'm gonna move on in the meantime, and we'll come right back. All right, folks. So while Lou just figures out what's happening with his audio, we are going to go right back to our exhibit, and we are going to look at Salia Khanum's work. Salia is also a Conception Arts alumni, and we are going to take a look at her beautiful work and learn a little bit more about her process. So Salia is a self-taught artist growing up in Pakistan in the 80s and 90s. She had always been around self-taught artists. As a curious teenager, she'd sit with her father and close friend, both of whom used art as a respite from life's struggles and an intensely private pastime. Salia says that perhaps this is why she's similarly used art as respite, something to soothe the soul. She says, unlike her father and her close friend, she's always known that her art communicated better than she does verbally. There are layers and meanings that she finds easier to describe using color and shape. So next beautiful piece, a mixed media piece here from Salia. Fast track to 2018, and Salia says she is an expat partner. Her husband works in international development, and they live in US, Tanzania, Pakistan, and the UK. She is the mother of 3 and now living in Lebanon. In early 2018, I made a resolution to match my love of art with a desire to create a small business. I want to create a platform which allows me to showcase my work and sustain my ability to continue creating and sharing. And then we have this final piece by Salia. I'll likely always remain a learner, but I'm now keen to share my learning and journey with others. While traveling around the world, I've always looked forward to the destination. However, for at least now, I am relishing this journey of self-discovery. Beautiful work here by Salia. We're delighted to have you join us and delighted to have you as part of the big Conception Arts exhibiting family and as a member of our alumni. Do check out Salia's work if you're interested in purchasing any of these works. I'm sure she offers international shipping from Lebanon. Don't be afraid to reach out. You can find her contact information in the comments section. Thank you, Jen. Keeping it going in the comments, Jenny Guns, thank you so much. And our next artist, before we meet with Lou, we are going to take a look at the work of... Oh, no, we're not. We're going right to Lou. Look at that. Let's try this again, Lou. How about that? Do we
Can you
have...
hear me now?
Yes, we do. We have volume. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Welcome, Lou. It's great to have you back.
Good to see you.
Happy holidays. I know you're a busy man, chiropractor in the city, seeing patients all day, making art in your spare time. How has your last couple of months been?
It's been great. Yeah, I've been working on new pieces, trying to perfect the ones that I have, creating collections based on themes, which is one of the things I want to talk about tonight. The images that I've selected for tonight's review is thematically, the 3 pieces are thematically related. As a matter of fact, I did attend participate in a portfolio review with the Soho Photo Gallery in Lower Manhattan, which went very well and learned a lot. And so, every step along the way, it's a growing process. Every time I take the next step, I learn more and loving it, enjoying the work, and finding challenges in trying to get the work seen by the public. And that's why I'm here with you and our audience today. And I've been very inspired by watching what other people are displaying in the show, inspired by what people are saying. And it's been a wonderful evening for me to participate as audience member, and now as one of the artists that
is here to display.
Well, why
yeah.
don't we get right into it? Why don't we talk about the work? Let's take a
Okay.
look at the first piece here. This
Okay.
is tell our audience who don't know, what is this style or genre of work that you have coined? What is this style
Right.
called?
Okay, so first of all, I'm a digital photographer, digital artist. Okay, so everything that you're seeing tonight are photographs, and these photographs were taken by my iPhone.
Don't give
And,
away your technique, Lou. Don't do it.
But they are panoramas. All right, so everybody's iPhone has a pano feature. So let me just leave it at that. That I use pano, and I manipulate the images. I manipulate them. So what starts out as a normal photographs and ends up as I don't know what word to just describe it, but I have a title for these pieces. It's called Panomania. It's a panorama that has entered the world of mania, if you will. And the series that I'm presenting tonight, the three pieces, have a common thread, and they have to do with portals. And what you're looking at right now is New York City subway turnstiles. I don't know how many of the viewers tonight have been to New York City, but the New York City transit system, the subway system, is vast. It's the largest in the world. And to get into the system, you have to go through turnstiles. And what you're seeing tonight are the turnstiles of the subway stop near my home, where I live in Queens, New York City. And the image evokes the period of Cubism in the early 20th century, because if you look at it, if you can look at close enough, you'll see that it's broken up into many small cube or squares or rectangles. And it gives the impression of a three-dimensional field, if you will, of obstacles. And it is a portal, obviously, but is it a maze? Is it a barrier? Is it something that we have to navigate in order to get along on our way? The nature of this image, along with the other two, they're very busy images, and a lot of detail can be lost on the small screen if you're watching on your phone, or if you're even watching on your computer screen. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to take a print. I'm going to grab a print and bring it close to my camera here, because my goal is to help you see. One moment, please. My goal is to help you see what the implications are of this scene. The last two speakers talked about stories, and I just was very moved by what the last two speakers had to say about their stories. And these images do tell us a story of sorts. There's a narrative running through the three images, and it has to do with the relationship of the individual with the field that is before them. So in the upper left corner, you're going to see a little dab of yellow. And if you look close enough, you'll see a man. And I'm going to bring up the print, and I'm going to try to position it so you can see close enough. And you tell me if I'm getting towards the image. If you can you see a man there at all?
I'm just going to remove the screen share. Let me try this, and I think people can see it closer. Try now.
Is there any?
Yep.
I don't know if you can see it.
Anybody see the
figure? If you can see a man in yellow, stop me. I'm going to move slowly.
Yep.
Tell me if you can. You see him?
I think so, from what I can see. Anyone else?
There's green lettering on the shirt.
Okay.
I have to stand way off to the side, and my monitor screen is very small. I can't tell if I've got him in the view or not.
It's difficult for me to see. Folks,
Right.
Anybody else see it? Oh, you have to move it to the left, according to Jen.
Okay. How are we doing now?
And now down, I guess.
But he moved it back.
Oh,
Left.
other way, I think.
Oh yeah, left.
Oh,
Right there.
okay.
Down. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Okay, stop there.
And down.
Can you see a man in yellow?
I believe so.
Well, anyway, I'm sorry that I can't do better than this, because
Somebody says, "See, I see it in the upper left."
yeah, it is in the upper left, and if you could see this man's face, you can see he's confronted. I'm going to put it down now. He's confronted by this. That's the look on his face, and so what is it that has him be this way? Like, what is his predicament? Is he confused? Is he concerned? Is he going to try to go through this field, if you will, this barrier, and to go forward in his way or in his life? And so that's the image that it projects to me. When I first took the picture, I didn't see him there at all. I didn't come to this realization of this image until after I had a chance to study the image. My goal was just to present an everyday scene in a perspective that we may never have seen before. Just as in the early 20th century, the Cubists rendered everyday scenes or individuals in a way that we've never seen before, such as the nude descending from the, I forget the French painter, the nude descending a staircase. I forget his name. Marcel Duchamp or
Marcel Duchamp. Yeah. I was thinking about Guernica and how Picasso displayed the figures and how that was right. It was totally novel, right?
And Picasso, they were experimenting with cubism, and this evokes that spirit.
I'm going to bring this comment up from Dolphins. He says, "Lou, your work is so innovative." I agree.
Appreciate that.
Let's look at this next piece, Lou.
Can we bring up the arch?
Yep, that's what we have right here.
Yeah, great. I want to talk about that one next, because here we see another hero. We have a gentleman in the very center of the image, near the bottom, and he's walking towards the camera. By the way, this picture was taken in Midtown Manhattan, Park Avenue at 32nd Street. Right outside the doors of my former office. Right now, my office is, by the way, at the Flatiron Building across the street in the Flatiron District of Manhattan. So I'm taking a lunch break, and I'm out on the street, and I decide I'm going to take a panorama of Park Avenue. And, I come up with this heaving, unsettling street scene. The buildings are swaying. It almost looks like there's an earthquake happening. There's this great chaos and confusion. And in the very center, there's this arch, this big gaping, almost like a mouth, this portal from which emerges our hero. And here he is. He's walking with conviction, with purpose. And is he escaping? The question is, to me, is he escaping this chaos? Is he emerging from some existential threat, or is it a portal that confers wisdom or awareness or consciousness, expanded consciousness of himself and the world around him? I mean, what is this portal representing? And I guess that's up to the viewer to decide, because the rest of the street is utter chaos. The buildings are ready to collapse on each other. The people, and the funny thing is, on the left-hand side, you see individuals standing around like nothing's going on, because in the moment when I took the picture, it was just everyday life was going on. By the way, all of these images were taken in 2019, before the pandemic. So this is the summer of 2019. And so, people are going about their daily lives. This is an office area, office workers on lunch break, going about their business. Only in my world, it's, they're almost indifferent to this cataclysmic almost process, if you will. And what happens to our hero? Well, I think based on his body language, he will succeed. He will triumph in the end, like a Promethean, the masculine Promethean figure. And And again, this storyline didn't come to me until after I took the picture. I didn't go out on the street that day and say, I'm going to create a picture that evokes a heroic effort to transition through a portal. No, I was just experimenting with a technique. And it wasn't until after I took the image and processed it and played with it that I realized, wait a minute, look at this guy. I didn't see him at first. When I first started working with the image, I did not see him. All I saw was this wonderful cacophony of swaying buildings and everything crashing in amongst themselves. So it was a real bonus for me to have him happen to be there. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't staged. It just happened, which I thought was, great.
That's one of the great things about art, that it can continue to tell a story. It can continue to evolve.
Yeah.
Let's look at this last piece, because this is this is actually my favorite of the three. Just a burst of color. So let's look at this last piece.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm seeing some Mondrian here as well.
Okay.
But go ahead, please.
Yeah. So it's at night. This is in Rego Park, Queens, just off Queens Boulevard. There's a shopping center. I was walking home from the drugstore one night. I had no intention of taking this picture. I was just walking home one night, and there's this escalator descending in front of this mural that they painted at a shopping mall. And I said, oh my gosh, I've got to play with this. I've got to capture this. Because the lights were brightly shining on these colors. And I said, I have to create some chaos here. And so what you're seeing is a mural. And if you look carefully, you can see it looks like a cascading waterfall. The escalator, I broke up the escalator in such a way that it's tumbling over itself several times over, as if you're watching a stream that's going down a hill and there's rocks breaking up the water flow. So you get these flowing streams, if you will, that are playfully jumping and bubbling over the rocks. And again, now, if you have the ability to blow up the image, to zoom in, you're going to see two women on the escalator. And I'm going to pull up a print, and I'm going to try to get that image in front of the camera. It's if you were to 1, 2, 3. It's on the fourth escalator from the right. Let me come in close.
Yep. Keep it coming in.
I just can't tell from where I am. I
bring it closer.
Bring it closer.
Yep. Right there. You got it.
I got it. Can you see these two ladies?
Yep.
And one of them's has got a gallon of milk in her hand.
Fantastic.
She's got a gallon. They were at the grocery store.
That's amazing.
And she's got a gallon of milk with her, and she's with her companion. And they're, I would imagine they're Muslim women. I didn't meet them. They're looking at me, looking at them, looking at me. By the way, if you hear banging sounds, those are my pipes. The radiator's banging away here.
Good old New York pipes.
So sorry about the percussion section there, guys. And they're going home or they're leaving the store, right? And they're just on their way, in this playful environment and colorful environment. Just to me, this represents a portal of domestic tranquility, of normalcy, of playful jocularity. It's a bit. It's noisy. There's a lot of these geometric figures are bouncing all over each other, but there's peaceful coexistence between the human experience and the backdrop there, and they're just kind of going down the stream. They're just rolling along with the water as it bubbles over the rocks, just going on their way. It's of the three images, this is like the happy ending. This is the hopeful future, right? They're just. This is domestic life. This is what we do day in and day out, right? So, that is, I'm so glad we could finish with this image because it's just the most hopeful, I think, of the images.
It's fabulous.
Cheerful,
and the prints
fun.
look
This
fantastic.
is fun, whimsical,
The prints look fantastic. So for somebody out there who is thinking they would like to add this to their home or their workspace, tell us how they can do that, Lou.
Sure. So it's easy to contact me. I have an Instagram page. It's my Instagram page is Louis Calvano. It's just my name. You can, direct message me. You can visit my website, louiscalvano.com. Have my contact information there. I sell limited edition prints. So in other words, this whole series, it's 8 prints. Once they're sold, that's it. They're gone. So if you're interested, let me know. And
Get them while they're hot, folks.
We can take it from there. And I print on demand. It's you want it, great. I'll get it printed for you, and we can discuss papers and but the sizes are pretty standard. These are basically 12 inches high by 24, 28, 32 inches wide. So.
Well, Lou, it's always a pleasure to spend time with you, and so inspiring to see you continue to just explore this idea and pull these stories out. I'm really excited to see what you do with it next year in 2022. So thank you for joining us. Any final words you want to leave our audience with?
Again, I'm going to reiterate what I said before. Number one, I'm grateful to be here. I just love being part of a larger community of fellow artists because, I work alone. My work is, being a photographer, like an artist in the studio, you're out there in the world, you're just by yourself taking pictures, and it's a solitary experience. And to be a part of a community is a big help to me. And I was really inspired by the artists tonight. I'm inspired by the courage. It takes a lot of guts to come out here and talk in front of a group of strangers. I mean, we're not really strangers, we're friends, but you know what I'm talking about, to expose your soul, to the world. So everybody on this program has courage, I think. And I honor and I respect that.
Yeah, I second that. Well, Lou, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in 2022. Happy holidays.
To you and to everyone else. Thank you so much.
All right, folks, we just have one more artist, and then we are going to get into the awards section of the evening. So last artist up is Rick Kahn. We are going to look at Rick's work right now. I'm going to put it up on the screen here and hear a little bit about Rick. And let's get going right here. All right. So New York-based international award-winning expressionist Rick Kahn is a figurative artist whose complete body of work touches various subjects, but his main series is on gender equality and female empowerment. Rick creates paintings that reflect equality, empowerment, and psychological conditions to increase awareness and understanding, looking into the realities that women face, focusing on their courage and beauty. Rick says, I'm committed and very passionate about my work on gender equality and female empowerment, 2 subjects that are sorely lacking in society. My goal is to bring awareness to this problem and do my part to facilitate change. Rick's work has been featured in articles in several newspapers and magazines in the United States and Europe, including Art Tour International Magazine, Art in America, and also in the Toscana Cultura magazine in Italy. Rick has been named Master of Contemporary Art 2022 and also an Emerald Activist 2021 award. He was awarded the Artist of the Future Collector's Vision International Award and Power of Creativity Art Prize by Contemporary Art Curator magazine. Rick has also been included in the marquee Who's Who in America. Rick has had solo and group shows in Baltimore, Columbia, Annapolis, Frederick, Stensville, and Centreville, Washington, D.C., Manhattan, and Chelsea. He has paintings in private collections throughout the United States and Australia, and he is represented by the Grimandi Art Gallery in New York City. So if you are interested in any of the works that you see here tonight by Rick, some fantastic works of art here by Rick, all available, I'm sure, for purchase. Don't be afraid. Reach out to Rick directly. His contact information is in the comment section, and you can get in touch with him and take home something for yourself. All right, folks, we are now at this point moving in to the final phase of the evening. We're going to give away some awards. We have coming up, we're going to be giving this Best in Show award this evening to one artist. This is the overall winner of tonight's event. Then we're going to be giving away the Rising Star Award and, of course, the Audience Award. I believe doors are officially closed for the Audience Award, but we're going to be coming back after a little break. We're just going to show you guys the virtual gallery once again, and on the other side, we are going to announce those winners. All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. We are delighted to be back with you this evening. Seeing some great comments. Do keep them coming, folks. Let us know what you thought about the show this evening. It has been an honor and a privilege, as always, to share space and spend time with you this evening. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to some awards. Just before we do the artist awards, let's do the audience awards. So we mentioned earlier, we are giving away a Conception Arts goodie bag, a surprise goodie bag with lots of fun things in it to whomever could get closest to the amount of art sales that our artists made at Conception Arts Art Basel in Miami in 2016. And we have a winner. Jen, do you want to shout out the winner's name?
Heather Davidson.
That's right, Heather Davidson, a regular and a friend of Conception Arts. Thank you, Heather, for coming out and supporting always. We appreciate you. And you are the winner who guessed 100,000, and the figure was $140,000 of sales that happened during Art Basel. Congrats, Heath. We have a special goodie bag heading your way. We can deliver it personally since you're in New York City. Congratulations. Woot! Awesome, awesome. All right, so we have the final award of the evening, or should I say the first award of the evening. We are giving away our overall winner this evening, our award for excellence. Just a little note on this. So not only is the winner taking home this beautiful award, this braggable award tonight that they can put in their studio on their shelf, full bragging rights. But this award is also super special because everybody who wins this award at these shows is actually shortlisted for our annual residency program. If you don't know about Conception Arts annual residency program, listen up. Every year, we pick one artist and we send them on a trip of a lifetime. We send them for 2 weeks to Chateau Orquevaux, which is in France. It's in the Champagne-Ardenne region. It is the most beautiful, beautiful chateau. And for 2 weeks, they have uninterrupted time to create this beautiful in the French countryside. We also have a sponsor, a partner sponsor who helps pay for the travel. That is Hiatus Tequila. They provide a $500 travel stipend. And we also provide an additional $500 of art supply, an art supply stipend as well. So this is an insane prize. I want to take this prize. I want to go to France for 2 weeks and paint. That sounds like something phenomenal. So whoever wins this tonight is automatically shortlisted for 2022. So this can be really a life-changing award. So without further ado, unfortunately, I don't have the person live with me tonight due to some time differences. But the winner tonight is tonight's award for excellence winner is Sandra Mulliner. So here is once again Sandra's amazing work. Beautiful, stunning, really outstanding assemblage works by Sandra. I think very well deserved. Excited to see what she does next. And I think she's definitely in the runnings as a shortlisted artist for that residency as well. So please join me in congratulating Sandra. A great, great achievement. Sandra, I hope that you're watching in Dubai. I hope that this is, perhaps you're waking up to this good news this morning. If so, big congratulations from the Conception Arts family, crew, and all of our audience who have been here to support the work tonight as well. All right, so next up is, of course, actually, we have something a little different that's happened this evening. We have 2 awards. We have the Audience Award, and we also have the Rising Star Award. The Rising Star Award is essentially a scholarship for my Art Business Bootcamp program. You've heard me talk about it. You've heard a couple of our exhibitors talk about it this evening. It is a program. It's a 6-module program where I teach everything from A to Z of how to go from kind of just being an artist, creating your artwork and selling in person. I'm teaching everything to help you to actually sell your artwork online. So branding, marketing, niching, all of the things that you need to do to really have success in this ever-changing landscape in the online art world right now. So it is my full scholarship. It's a full scholarship to that program, which includes regular Zoom meets, which are fantastic. You not only have my guidance, but you also have an amazing supportive group of artists who are just wonderful. You've met a few of them tonight. So it is a really wonderful prize. I am excited that tonight something different has happened, something that we've not had happen before. Our Rising Star Award is also our Audience Vote Award winner as well. So I wish she was here to accept it. If you are watching this right now, Nivea, congratulations. Let's see if, oh, here she is. Nivea, congratulations. You just won the Audience Award and and the full scholarship to Art Business Bootcamp. So you are the first to scoop both awards. Both awards. Congratulations. Oh, you don't have your volume. Hang on. Try it now. I think you're muted on your end. Oh, let's try it again. There we go. Try now. We got two Niveas for a minute there. All right. How are you feeling, girl?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
I am so thrilled. You know, like I said, this is the first time that this has happened, that we've had somebody take the audience and the Rising Star Award. So,
oh, wonderful. Oh my God, I'm so honored. Thank you so much.
We're really
thrilled. There are two of me.
What's that?
I think there are two of me. There's an echo.
Yeah. One for each of you. Well, here's the mic, theoretically. Here's the mic. Give us your little acceptance speech. Give a little shout out to the audience that have voted for you tonight.
Thank you, everybody, for voting for me. I absolutely appreciate it. What an honor. I'm flabbergasted. I'm speechless. Thank you very, very much.
We appreciate you telling your story. I think you moved a lot of people tonight.
Thank you.
You're inspired. You've crushed it, as somebody's just said in the comments. We're so proud of you. I cannot wait to welcome you into boot camp, and
I'm excited
and get to know your work a little better. So congratulations to you, and this is your night.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Woohoo! All right, folks, that is a wrap. This has been Conception Arts Holiday Show 2021. Where did the year go? It's been a trip. Thank you to everybody who continues to come out and support these exhibits. Thank you to everybody who's watching the replay right now. We hope we brought you something inspiring tonight. I know I am inspired. I'm blown away. It is the privilege of my lifetime to be able to spend time with these incredible creative people, and to actually bring them into your living room tonight is just really special and spectacular. So to you, the audience, to our exhibitors, thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you, and we will see you in 2021. Thank you, folks. Good night. Happy holidays, everybody.